everybody! Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. My name is Spencer Reese. I'm going to be the game mother for the evening, and I'm joined by my players, Dalton.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dalton. I'm excited to be playing the Alien RPG today. Justin, why don't you introduce yourself next?
Hey everybody, my name's Justin, pronouns he, him. I'm gonna be playing the cat. I am the captain.
You're the captain now.
I am the captain.
And last but not least, Christian!
Hey guys, my pronouns are he, him. My name's Christian, and I am a huge fan of this world and the Alien franchise. So after just seeing the movie, which I enjoyed, I'm excited to hop into this and see how it is as an RPG.
Alien Romulus came out, so it's great. Both me and Christian have seen it. I love it. My pronouns are he, him, by the way. I always forget to say them, but that's me. And like everybody was saying, we're playing the Alien RPG today. Specifically, we're doing the cinematic scenario, which is just the Alien's fancy term for a one-shot that's included in the starter set. It's called Chariot of the God. So basically, Alien RPG it's done by Free League, and it has its own kind of like unique system, which we'll kind of go over and kind of do as we kind of progress through and everything. But the important thing is that there are kind of two styles of play. There is cinematic play and campaign play. Campaign play is what most people are familiar with. It's very similar to like D&D, longer campaign stuff like that, spanning months-long sessions, stuff like that. Cinematic play is geared to be more of a one-shot. Now, I personally think, and from what it seems like other people have experienced, it's going to take more than one session. It claims you can beat it in 4 to 5 hours, but this seems to be a little bit longer than that. But it is supposed to be like playing the plot of a movie, like playing the plot of an Alien movie, which is pretty cool. They are always divided into 3 acts. You get what are called story points at the end of each act because all of you are getting separate agendas. But before we get too far into that, let me go ahead and kind of read the story intro, start picking our characters, and then we can talk more about rules and all that fun stuff. Does that sound good with everybody else?
Sounds good to me.
Great.
Wholly unacceptable.
So, this is the story introduction for Chariot of the Gods. What's the story, Mother? You are space truckers on the star freighter USCSS Montero, running the Gauntlet, the trade route between Anchor Point Station and the frontier. Your ship's cargo hold is packed with dozens of tanks of dangerous tritium gas that is in the process of decaying into extremely profitable helium-3. Usually, cargoes such as these are towed in massive tanker modules that transport much higher concentrations of the gas at a safe distance from the freighter hauler. The Montero isn't rated as a commercial towing vehicle, however. This small run is a special order from a Wayland Yutani corporate account on Sutter's World, a newly established frontier colony. While the trip so far has been fairly routine, the Montero sensors developed a glitch before you left Anchor Point and sporadically pinged contact with a sensor reflection before you activated the displacement drive and went FTL. Your cargo run so far has been without incident. Now, you are just awakening from hypersleep, ready to deliver your goods to the colony of Sutter's World. So normally, if we were playing in person, this is where I would show you the 5 different handouts with character sheets on the back. However, we're playing in Roll20, so I've put that all in here. So Roll20 has the character sheets for the Alien RPG in here, which is great. So all of those are available right here, right now. And you can go ahead and click on each one. I gave you access to each one. So there is Lyron Cham, who is a roughneck. Leah Davis, who is a pilot, Vanessa Miller, who's an officer, Kayla Rye, who's a roughneck, and then John J. Wilson, who's a company agent. You can think of, and I know we've discussed this before, but you can think of like these class roles such as like company agent, roughneck, officer, pilot. They're kind of like your classes in Alien. The cool thing about it is that when you make a character in campaign play, because in a cinematic play like this, it always provides pre-made characters for you. So in a campaign play, what these kind of roles do is allows you to be specialized towards like one specific stat or like thing, as well as grants you access to special talents, which are kind of like features in D&D. So as you can see, and as you kind of peek through, I have kind of like a portrait and token thing, but then you can kind of see like the details, which kind of gives a little bit of backstory for each character, and then talks about their like it shows like their strength, agility, wits, empathy, and all that fun stuff, as well as their skills. And even talks about their talent at the bottom. So there's the top one, which is going to have like their character sheet, and then the bottom one, which is going to have more like just the detail that's provided in like a scenario in for the character. Like I can pull out kind of what's included in the starter kit, because basically what it is that the details with like their stats and their talent and everything is on the front end, and on the back end is the character sheet. So I kind of provided both of those because I made the character sheet in Roll20, and then I also wanted to make sure you guys saw all of the extra fun stuff. So for example, I have like, here's Cham the Roughneck. Whoa, it's no, oh no, I can turn my video background off. It's not working. But basically, there we go. So you can see Cham here on the front. That's like what the second little thing is for. It has like the backstory, their talent and stuff. And then on the back is like the full character sheet. But if you click into one of the characters, I've already programmed in all the stats and everything. You can go ahead and test it out if you like, but if you click on like strength or close combat or something, it should roll that for you. Yeah, like there we go. Just rolled it. Which is a good time to kind of like briefly talk about the system itself. So Alien, how this works is that you have 4 core stats, which are displayed on the character sheet as strength, agility, wits, and empathy, and then skills that kind of like go off of those core stats. And just like in D&D, essentially whatever you're trained in, let's say you're trained in close combat, you would take your strength score. So if we take Cham's strength score of 5 and add it to his close combat, which is 2, instead of adding that as kind of like something you're trying to hit or roll against or anything like that, you essentially roll that many d6s, because Aliens is just played with a bunch of d6s. And so basically you're rolling d6s, and you're not rolling against anything unless it's a contested thing. All you're trying to do is roll to see if you get a 6. So as you can see here, somebody hit Cham's piloting skill and got 1 success, so that means they redo it. But Christian, who just rolled the mobility for Wilson, did not get a 6, even though he has 6 dice that he rolled. So that would be him failing the roll. However, you can do something called pushing, which allows you to kind of like increase your stress, and then allows you to, it increased your stress right there, but it allowed you to roll again and roll for success. And this time you got a success not only on the stress die there, but you got a success on the normal die. Oh my god! Dalton rolled Cham's strength and got 4 1s, which is a good time to mention. So rolling 1s on your normal dice is fine, but as you add stress, which is a stress mechanic in the game, you start to accumulate stress dice, and those are where things go bad, because rolling a 1 on those is represented by the facehugger, and then we have to make panic rolls. So that's a lot of information, though. So I think this is a good time to kind of discuss more about, out of all the characters, I know a few of you have already kind of like picked out your characters already. Do you want to tell me what characters you were kind of thinking about playing?
I think I'm going to play the captain.
Captain, yes. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
El Capitan.
That's Officer Miller.
Officer Miller.
Christian, who are you playing?
You're muted, bud.
Sorry. I'll be playing John J. Wilson, the company agent who has been tasked with basically evaluating the performance of the crew aboard the Montero, I believe it is. So yeah, and it's funny because Well, we won't get into that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
He
And
also looks
Dalton,
like that guy from The Office, whose name I can't remember.
Who does?
Wilson?
Wilson? Wilson.
Yeah, he looks like the dude who works in the back. The
Toby.
Oh,
no,
No, not Toby.
Craig Robinson.
yes,
That's the
Craig
actor's
Robinson.
name.
Daryl.
Daryl. Yes, that's the
Daryl.
character's name.
Yeah.
Daryl works down in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, perfect. And Dalton, do you know out of I guess you have three choices left. Who do you want to play as?
You can just assign me one.
Okay.
Whatever you think is most
Let's see
interesting
here.
with the two they picked.
So, well, we have somebody playing. So we have Wilson. We have Officer Miller. Let's see here. We have the pilot Davis left. We have Cham the Roughneck, and we have Rye the Roughneck left. Let's see here. I think Rye the Roughneck might be a good one, or Cham the Roughneck might be a good one. Let's see here. Let's do Cham the Roughneck.
Cham. Okay.
Yeah, have you play as Cham. That sounds good. Cool. So yeah, and yeah, let's go ahead. So this I was on the cover page. I'm gonna move you guys over to the map of the Montero. If I can get you, there we go. So you guys should be able to see the Montero here right now. See this okay? So all of you guys awaken in cryo. So if you guys can, go ahead and drag your tokens onto the cryo over where the cryo is, right here. And I might have to adjust the size to the map, but we can at least drag and move your tokens on here. You guys are starting in Act 1. Eager to be done with this run and collect a paycheck, you wake up to prep the ship for unloading. You might first gather in the alley to eat because all of you, when you wake up, start with the dehydrated status due to the effects of hypersleep. So this is a good time to kind of see what being dehydrated is like as a condition. If you guys are
Okay.
at the core rulebook on page 106, it means it's basically a day after sufficient water, you become dehydrated. You cannot recover health or relieve stress. Every shift you suffer 1 point of damage, and your stress level increases 1 step, so on and so forth. But as soon as you drink, the above effects wear off within 1 shift. So that might be why you guys might be making your way towards the galley, because you guys are currently dehydrated and need to freshen up with some water. So.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Boy, am I thirsty.
So yeah, as far as you guys know, you're supposed to be landing, like you said, making this kind of run. I'll go ahead and share with you your original projected route. So you were supposed to go from Anchor Point Station to Sutter's World, which you're delivering this this gas to the colony and everything. So you guys might first make your way to the galley to kind of rehydrate, and then you might go among your normal duties. So, yeah. So
is this abnormal at all for like how I would expect this to go? Like us being waking up
waking out of hypersleep? No,
Okay.
everything seems to be normal so far. I would imagine you guys probably go to the galley, maybe you kind of catch up with each other, and then you might go about your normal duties. But before you do any of that, everything seems to be normal. I mean, you're just waking up by hypersleep. You haven't checked any, like, you know, I don't know, radars. You haven't checked on the gas or anything like that. So, I mean, as far as you know, everything's fine. But this might be a good moment that as you guys are all sitting down, kind of like in the galley and kind of eating, maybe you say hi to one another, maybe you joke or anything like that. But other than that, yeah, you can move on to your normal duties.
Okay. I do my duties.
So, for example, I mean, you're on this ship, right? So you're just some space truckers. You're delivering some cargo. I mean, some of the things might be like if you were the pilot, you'd probably go to the bridge and kind of check in with the star charts, start kind of like radioing in to the colony world and stuff like that. If you're the captain, maybe you're checking in on all your different crew members, making sure they got up okay from cryo sleep. If you're one of the roughnecks, maybe you're going and checking on the cargo, making sure it's still secured, it didn't get loose from the bridge or from just like the travel time and everything. So, but yeah, well, I guess at this point, you can move about the ship freely. We're not taking turns or anything like that. You appear to be in a safe environment. So, where are you guys kind of going? Where are you guys kind of moving?
Okay, so what were the effects of dehydration?
Oh,
I feel like we were like, "Oh, you're gonna be dehydrated," and I'm like, I went and I got a glass of water and a tea, and you're like, "Oh, now you feel better." Is there any like actual like you know what I mean? Like, should we make like a skill check or something?
No, we
While
just need to find water.
No. It's just basically this is a good time to talk about shifts. So basically, dehydrated happens if you haven't had water after one shift. And a shift is something you can think of as if you think about a normal day, a day is divided into 4 shifts. You have morning, midday, evening, and night. So
Okay.
that's roughly kind of like what a shift is. I think it's
So shift is like 6 hours.
yeah, exactly. So basically, all that is like you would wake up dehydrated, but nothing bad would actually happen until after one shift. But
Okay.
because like you go to the galley and just get some water, like you're drinking, you're recovering, and it says as soon as you drink, the above effects wear off after one shift. So like you guys are going to be fine. It's just supposed to be something that kind of like, yeah, you wake up from hypersleep, you wake up dehydrated, so go get some water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yes. I mean, I wake up. I do whatever you do with a rosary. I think there's some sort of fancy prayer shenanigans you have to do with it.
You pray the rosary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called praying the rosary.
Yeah. I'm sure there's various acts and stuff to do with the beads or whatever, but I do whatever it is a good Catholic does with that thing.
You start with an Our Father, and then you get to the cataclysms and the mysteries, and then you do an Our Father there's the little small ones. You do the Hail Mary on one of those, and then you get to a big one, and then you say an Our Father.
Yep. I nail it. It's very well practiced and well done, and I definitely know what I'm doing. As thanks, I guess, for God for taking me safely through this part of the voyage or whatever.
Okay.
I start to make my way down the hallway towards the galley. I'm familiar with this particular ship, right?
Oh yeah, so you guys like
I work
you've
here.
probably done other runs. Like this
Yeah.
is not like an unfamiliar run for you. You guys have been space truckers for a while. I'm not sure how many shifts you've worked with each other specifically, but you've definitely worked for your company for a while and have done different shifts, like and ran different things. A good thing to think about this is that as your ship kind of drifts through space, it is a upgraded class of the Nostromo from the first Alien movie. So this is like sometime after that and everything. So you have a ship very similar to that. So if you guys remember from the first Alien film, like the hallways are kind of like an off-white. You kind of walk down the lights as you kind of start walking. The lights kind of flicker on as Mother turns it on for you and everything, and recognizes that you are now moving about. So you make your way down the hallway to the south. Go to where the stairs are, then head north up to where the galley is, and everything seems to be kind of like up and running now. Kind of like as you start walking through the ship, lights turn on, little TVs kind of like flicker to life and display different messages and such. So yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna head to the bridge.
Great, perfect. So you work your way to the bridge, make your way up there, kind of open access to it. Yeah, lights kind of flicker on, like I was describing before. The shields maybe like kind of come up and like open. They were probably closed as you were like flying through space, but now open up so you can see just the vastness of space before you. It is dark. It is starry. And it's eerily quiet. But however, as you kind of approach the station, there's like a slow boot up of like your control panel and such like that. And yeah, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna sip my coffee and run through system diagnostics.
Perfect, great. You start tinker away at system diagnostics, just kind of making sure everything's running okay, kind of flicker through. And after a few moments, you kind of recognize that everything seems to be accounted for on the ship. Mothers were running perfectly fine, no interference. You didn't really encounter anything in space on the way here. Things seem to be a-okay. Christian, what is Wilson doing right now?
Well, as we're getting out of cryo, after Cham is done with their prayer, I just look over and John says, "How was your sleep?"
It was as good as any medically induced sleep is going to be.
Yeah. You ever have any dreams when you're sleeping in cryo sleep?
No, weirdly enough. I don't think I ever have. Is that normal?
I don't know.
Do you?
I've it's hard to remember, but when I come out of it, I have these thoughts that I didn't have coming into it. I feel like I was dreaming, but cryo sleep basically just, it's a long sleep, but typically you're not supposed to.
Interesting.
I don't know. Anyway, that's good.
Yeah, we're all two normal, totally normal guys here.
I'm gonna go to the galley and try and get some water here. I'm a bit parched.
Yeah, I'm headed that way too. Spencer, are we supposed to have our agendas at this point?
No.
Okay.
I was going to give that to you in just a second. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was going to call everyone to the bridge.
Yeah. So maybe you get on like an announcement.
Rep.
Yeah, PA system, and you're just like, hey, everybody report, or whatever you say on your PA system. Go ahead.
All crew to the bridge for assignments. All crew to the bridge for assignments.
So at this
fuck's sake, the guy can't give us even a fucking minute.
Yeah, she gets on. She gets on.
Cryo.
This is your captain. All crew to the bridge. Repeat. All crew to the bridge.
Attention, Walmart shoppers.
No, that's whatever. That's my best airline pilot voice, man. Whatever.
So, as you're doing this, Captain Miller, Officer Miller, so there are two other members who awoke from cryosleep with you. There is Kayla Rye, who is also another roughneck, just somebody who's good with machinery, kind of like a labor force at hand, kind of helps out with stuff, and also the pilot of the Montero, who is Leah Davis. So
I know Davis.
Yeah, you do. You work probably work closely in hand with
We're real
Davis
close
all the time. Yeah. Well,
I'd call her a buddy. We are buddies.
You are buddies, aren't you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good time to mention that there is a buddy rival system in Alien, and Davis's buddy is Miller, and I would imagine that Miller's buddy is Davis, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked at Davis's character sheet.
It is, but yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
we are buddies. Perfect. And yeah, I know Kayla too. She's a good mechanic.
Perfect.
I like her. She tinkers around, makes sure the ship works good. Works real good.
Perfect. Well, as you're kind of like getting settled, kind of doing system diagnostics, Davis has actually been kind of trying to hail Sutter's world. You hear kind of just doing the kind of like, this is USCSS Montero, hailing Sutter's world. We have delivery of cargo. And she kind of repeats that for a few moments. And she turns to you and she goes, hey, there's no return ping from Sutter's World's beacon tower.
No return ping.
No. I can go ahead and start double checking the star charts. Make sure we're in the right place.
You know, I bet Wilson didn't let them know we're coming. Probably fucked up some paperwork, the asshole.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. Ping them. Let them know. Try switching subspace frequencies and see if you can't. They're not on the wrong frequency. Wilson probably gave us the wrong frequency. We'll get a hold of them.
Sounds good. She starts typing away and starts doing her thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and start checking logs and stuff like that, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah.
Star charts. Yeah, I'm doing captain stuff.
Captain stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, at this point in time, I like to think that both Cham and Wilson are passing through the galley on the way to the bridge and pass by Rye, who seems very upset. She's kind of like, she seems upset because she's like, I just want to just trying to drink here and eat, and the captain's already ordering us to go to the bridge?
No. Guy's an asshole.
God.
Vanessa Miller.
I don't know.
Well, I guess we better get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the captain has our. They just want the ship to get to the right spot.
I think Miller just has it out for all of us. She doesn't care about us. She just wants the cargo delivered and get a paycheck, which I'm all for. But you don't have to make it our problem to do so, right?
Oh, I mean, like, we should probably like all make sure we're on the same page when we wake up. Like, that seems pretty normal to me.
She like kind of like a forceful sigh, and kind of like starts walking towards the bridge. She seems frustrated, more so at Miller, but a little bit at you now that you didn't agree.
Well, I mean, just because we're buddies doesn't mean we have to agree about everything.
And at this point in time, I am going to give everybody their agendas. So basically, what agendas are is that in especially cinematic scenarios, agendas are specific goals for each character. They are something that you're kind of encouraged to do because you get something called story points from it. And those are like basically a free success on a task you want to do. You can just consume a story point in order to do that. Which is pretty great. Being able to just kind of succeed at something is very helpful, especially when tensions are high. So going towards and trying to do what's on your agenda can be very beneficial for later on. There are 3 acts in each cinematic scenario. So at the end of each act, I'm going to rate each of you individually and kind of see if if you contributed towards your agenda, and we'll reward a story point to you whether or not you did that. I will let you know when each act is done, and then we'll go through that, and then we'll continue on because you're going to get a new agenda for each act. This is a good time to point out too that because this is a horror game, and I do not want any kind of why am I blanking on the term? When you kind of know knowledge that you're not supposed to know. Metagaming. I don't want any metagaming. So if you have any questions about your agenda, please message me in Discord if you can, or text me. You guys have my phone number. And I will be happy to answer questions there. Roll20 also has a whisper mode, so you can also whisper to me if you would like. Because some of these agendas are interesting, and they may or may not be conflicting with other people's agendas. Do you have to follow them? No, you don't. You just get story points if you do, and it might be helpful if you do. So that is what I will say for that. So let me go ahead and distribute these agendas. So Dalton, you're playing Cham.
Mm-hmm.
So let me share this first agenda with you. All right, let me see, save changes. Let me see if that popped up under agendas for you.
Did.
Great. All right, let me go ahead and do, you're playing Officer Miller, Justin. Let me share this with you. All right. Do you see that okay?
Where did you share it with me in Discord?
No, I just shared it in Roll20 to you, so it should be under a folder called Agendas.
Oh, there it is. I found it. Yay me.
All right.
That's it? It's just the one thing?
It's just the one thing. Yeah, if you have any questions, just message me. And then
Okay.
So Christian is playing Wilson. Let me share that with you. Let's see.
Okay. Got it.
Let me test out the whisper real quick. Do you type /W for whisper? Let's see here. Crap. I gotta figure out I gotta remember how to do this. Whisper in Roll20.
It is /W, and then I think you have to like type out the name of the person or the character.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, that worked, right? Yeah.
I mean, I saw you say test.
Cool. Did anybody else see the test message? I'm gonna guess no. Nobody else saw the test message in the Roll20 chat.
Didn't hear anything. Don't see it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, great. So everybody should have their agendas. Go ahead and take time to kind of review over this real quick. And kind of just make sure you got that. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and message me on Discord or whisper me in Roll20. So
Okay, good.
Sorry. I'm getting
No,
whispers now.
anybody watching this right now on the YouTube, we're just having fun with the whispers now. We're getting way off
Well,
track.
I would like to say what you sent me out loud, if that's okay.
No, it's a whisper. It's a secret. I whispered it to you.
Fine, whisper.
No, it's fine.
Whisper.
I whispered to Spencer, all I want for my birthday is a big booty bitch, which is a 2 Chainz lyric.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of, from that point here, let me go ahead. So, okay, let me make sure I've shared everything I need to. Yes. Okay, great. So, okay. Well, at this point in time, a message actually pops up. So I like to think, Justin, Captain Miller is like sitting in her kind of like chair. She's doing the system diagnostic. However, a message pumps up from Mother's 6500 and signals that she wants to talk to you.
I check if the message is private.
It is.
Okay. I am. I look at. Damn it! What's her name?
Davis.
Davis. Davis, you have the bridge. I'll be in my quarters.
Aye.
Mother wants to speak to me.
Perfect. So yeah.
So, or is this? Yeah, I'm gonna go in. I guess this is like the ready room over here.
Yeah, that's
Mother.
Mother's like kind of like central chamber. If you remember from the Alien movie, most of these Mother kind of like it's like a entire like kind of like domed area that is filled with just like blinking lights of the mainframe of Mother. It's kind of like a domed entrance. So you kind of like walk to this room. It's like a small hallway, but as you kind of approach this, there's just a singular chair that has like a singular terminal there. And
Okay.
I like to imagine as you kind of sit down, you type away on your black screen with green text and kind of ask maybe, what's the story, Mother? Or something like that. So,
Yeah. I type Miller, and then my access code, and sitrep question mark.
Perfect. Yeah. You get a string of letters back on the screen in green text that says, picked up distress call from unknown ship. Need to investigate.
I type back rescue mission outside of parameters of current mission. Advise.
So she writes back. Let's see here. Make sure I got the message right.
Want to type in ERP question mark?
Yeah.
ASL.
Yeah, so. Need to investigate. Triangulating location now. Tracing to source. And then it's like processing. And then three dots.
Okay.
Failure to comply. Forfeit shares.
Okay. I acknowledged. Proceeding to rescue point or rescue zone or whatever.
Perfect.
I guess we're on the bridge right now, aren't we?
I upload, right? Yeah, because that's an order. So I send the coordinates to the bridge computer, and I come back out. Davis, you saw those new coordinates?
Sure did. Mother just finished processing.
Yeah. Okay.
And now.
Is everything all right, Captain?
What's the situation?
I look at the agenda that we had, and I just throw the pieces of paper in the trash. We have a new mission for Mother. It's going to change what we were going to do today. I had hoped to simply rendezvous at the LZ and drop off the cargo. We could get paid and go home. We have received a distress call in the area, and Mother and the Corp have ordered us to go and investigate. So we're going to go and investigate.
That seems weird to ask a cargo freighter to go investigate.
Well, it was this, or we hand over our well, you're absolutely welcome to not comply. There are there are singular vessels that will take you back, or you can go down and try and hitch a ride back from the what was the thing?
Sutter.
Sutter. You can take a ship. You can take a buoy ship to Sutter. But that means you'll be forfeiting your share.
Davis chimes in at this moment and goes, "Yeah, that might be a little bit hard. Hold on. Pulling up where we are now." And she pulls this up for all of you guys to see. The reroute that you've now been tasked to go on.
Okay. Well, I suggest if you're going to leave, you leave now.
Seems more like we should have left a few days ago.
To get to the anchor point station?
Is Sutter's world.
So we started in the anchor point station, right, Spencer?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've gotten way off track.
Yeah, like that's where we started.
No,
We're now like
started.
at the dot, the new dot versus.
Oh, that break off point's where we. Oh, looks like Mother's made the choice for us. You're welcome to not participate, but I'll have to lock that.
Do we have any more information on the lost vessel? Do we
No,
know what
listen.
type of vessel it was? Anything?
I'm guessing it's going to be the only one around here.
Interesting. Well, to make
you
you
say
guys
it was-
feel a little bit better.
You're the liaison. Look, you
Was it
want
just
to
that
if you want to contest as the liaison, you're welcome to go talk to the corp. I encourage you to do it. But I have my orders.
Well, I would say that this will probably be good for us, no matter what. He's kind of talking to Cham and kind of assuaging or assuring you that what we're doing here seems even obviously more important than Sutter's world and delivering this cargo. I'm sure that the corporation will greatly appreciate what we do, and I could even see if we are successful in this. If you think this Montero is a piece of shit, well, we probably get a nice upgrade when we get back.
Rye kind
Great.
of perks
I'm
up.
going to hold on one second. I TPD type that into my daily log. I'm going to hold you to that, Miller.
legally binding.
Verbal agreement.
Noting it happened. The company liaison had a conversation with me. We're noting it. Yeah, so I clickety-clack that into the system, make a note in the daily log. Great. I'd love to have that conversation with you, me, and our executive.
Rye, the rough
Anyway,
perks
we
up
have
at
our
the
orders.
mention Of Rye perks up at the mention of increased pay and goes, "Hey, if we're getting more money out of this, it's A-okay in my book. Let's go to it."
Great. We have our orders then. Davis, can you ping the area and see if we pick anything up?
Funny you say that, Captain. I tried to tune into transmission that might have been sent out that we picked up, and I don't know. Listen to this. And she kind of like holds up like one of the like headphones to like your ear, and it is just a garbled mess. You can't make anything out. That's all we could hear. But we're coming up on it now. And at this point in time, Mother actually kind of flashes some orange lights in the cockpit and goes, "Warning, approaching now. Approaching vessel."
I lean over to one of the comms ports, hold down the hail button. This is Captain Miller of the... What is it? What is the ship name?
Montero.
Montero.
Right, I know, but isn't there like a... It's not a USS.
USCS.
USCS Montero. Please respond.
Silence.
This is Captain Montero of the USCS, Captain Miller of the USCS Montero. We've received a distress call. Please respond if you need assistance.
Silence. And at this moment, you hear Davis kind of go, "Hey, we're supposed to be approaching it. It's not coming up on the." Whoa! And then at this moment, what happens is it is like dead dark in space, and she's like approaching this vessel, and you guys see a point in the distance suddenly grow like from like almost a pinpoint to like the size of a ship fast approaching. And the only way you can see it is just the stars in the background blot out. The ship has no running lights, nothing to mark it out in the deep depths of space. So the only way that Davis was able to see it is because the stars behind it blocked out. So she definitely like does a quick maneuver, and you guys pivot out of the way as this dark mass of just flies right past you. You hear Davis go, "Holy shit! Hold on! I gotta catch up to that thing." And she kind of speeds along with it. And you see her kind of like running, kind of like spins around, starts running behind it, and slowly just starts catching up on it. She flicks on the front lights and starts to illuminate the ship, which is actually what you kind of see in this right here. You see it just kind of light up like this front cover right here of this kind of derelict ship. Goes this thing. Whoops, I just moved you back. But anyways, this thing. Gosh, it must have stopped mid-flight because it's going 0.04 light speed right now.
I mean, so we can see it physically, right?
Yeah, the lights, it has no lights on, but the Montero has turned on, Davis turned on your floodlights, so now it's being lit up like the front of it and everything.
Yeah.
As she kind of like scoots up behind it and starts to kind of approach from behind.
I mean, more than that, it looks old.
Yeah. So at this point in time, Mother actually kind of pops up another message for you. Or, well, for everybody now. It says, "Source of distress call found." And as you kind of run your lights up against it, you actually see that it is something you guys remember from the history books. The name on the side of the ship is called the USCSS Cronus, a Weyland SEV M3 Hyades-class spacecraft. It was launched in 2110, and it's been missing for 3/4 of a century. It seems that if there's any power going on, it must be minimal because all the lights are off, and there's no sign of life. The kind of jarbled signal that seems to be the SOS is the only thing that's kind of coming from her right now. So.
As this is happening, John Wilson is going to just be like to everybody, "Hold on one second. I'm going to try and see if I can get more information on the ship." And he runs to like Mother, and he looks to just kind of question Mother on it.
Well, I'm going to follow, and as you're typing in, Wilson, let Mother know that there's no response, no signs. Can we do a life sign scan? Does our ship have that capability?
It does not.
All right. Well, there's no response from the hail, and there's no power.
Spencer,
It's
you
moving
said
at point.
we recognize the ship, right?
Yeah, you do. It's just because it is. So this ship, the USCSS Cronus, it's a similar ship to the main one in Prometheus. So this is like a widely known, like first faster than light like ship capable. So it is like one of the first spacefaring vessels. Yeah. So that's why it's kind of like familiar to you, and you guys would recognize that this thing is old.
Yeah.
This is like people in this day and age would recognize this the same way we would recognize the name Titanic.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like I don't think we need to scan for life signs, Captain. I mean, like anybody on that ship would be probably dead at this point for a while.
Yeah. Well,
could be in cryo.
we don't know who or what's on that ship, so I thought it. But right, we don't have the tech anyway, so it's a moot point. Thank you, though, crewman. What's your name? What's the character's name? Cham?
Yes.
Bam. Dalton
my
is
name.
Cham.
Yeah.
I'm Chan.
Yeah. I guess we're agreed, crewman Cham, but it's always safety first, right? But
at this point in time, yeah, go ahead.
So let's wait for Wilson to get back from speaking with Mother, and
Yeah.
maybe they'll let us know more. I mean, I don't know what they want. It's an SOS on a dead ship. I don't know what they want for us. If we can get out of this and just head to Sutton, that'd be great.
So Christian, Wilson goes to Mother's control panel. What are you doing with her? That sounds weird.
Well,
Tickling the old plastic.
I mean, it's via text, so we can get creative with it, right?
Yeah.
No.
Feel free to whisper me if you want.
Oh no, I was making a texting joke. Sorry.
Oh, good. And that's
no.
a good thing to just say to everybody too. Like, if there's like something you want to discuss with me, like if you want to do something stealthily or something like that, please whisper me. We'll roll dice behind the scene and then talk about it with everybody afterwards. Like,
Sure.
That is something you can absolutely do. So.
Yeah, I think John kind of types into the terminal. His Agent Wilson John, his credentials 942 or -T2, so on, and just requests basically the directive of the Cronus, basically.
Yeah.
What was the Cronus's purpose, and kind of types that out as a command to Mother, or just a question, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Mother responds with, black text, green, just the green letters appear on the screen. She goes, USCSS Cronus. Mission classified. Status found. Salvage operation mandated by company rules. New priorities issued. 1. Recover scientific data and samples from USCSS Cronus. 2. Escort the salvaged Cronus to Anchorhead or another Weyland-Yutani facility. 3. Save crew members on the Cronus. Floor plans uploading, and then on to your screen, and then throughout the ship, because floor plans of the Cronus start being uploaded to everybody. So whenever you guys are ready, I can show you the floor plans of the Cronus. So
on screen.
Did Mother say that to everybody in the bridge as well?
No, everybody else is getting the plans, but
plans.
you were the only one that it showed the new priorities.
I tell Mother to repeat that information to the bridge.
She does so. So she sends the same information that you all just got to everybody else. So the new priorities are: recover scientific data and samples from USCSS Cronus. 2. Escort the salvaged Cronus to Anchorhead or another Weyland-Yutani facility. 3. Save crew members on the Cronus. Failure to comply, forfeit all shares. And then this is the floor plans that are uploaded. Whenever you guys want to be thrown back to the other page, you can. But as you can see, the Cronus is similar to the Prometheus ship in scale, in size, with 4 different decks: A, B, C, and D. If you have any questions specifically how to navigate that, we can get that as you guys actually approach the ship and everything like that. But
so this is a much larger ship than ours.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, by a magnitude of a significant magnitude. Okay, all right, Davis. Is there any way we can get onto the vehicle bay? Is that an open section?
He was speaking to you, Spencer.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, I was
First Officer Davis?
First off, I'm sorry, Captain. I was distracted. This is something for the history books. You know, who's seen a vessel like this in their lifetime?
I have.
Davis.
It's right there.
We're professionals. Let's maintain our composure, please.
Right, Captain. Sorry. Would you ask again? Can we board it?
Yeah. Is the vehicle bay open?
Vehicle
Can we
bay.
board the vessel?
Let's see here. She starts piloting around it, and while she's doing that, I will go ahead and share with you gear on the Montero. This is something specifically that Captain Miller will kind of distribute and stuff like that, but it's good for everybody to just kind of look at, and especially as we're kind of going through stuff to kind of see what kind of gear is available. I've shared this with you guys before, but gear can be very important in the Alien RPG, so I want to do that. But basically, Davis takes the ship, and she's match speed at this point, but slowly kind of like following behind it, right? So she goes down underneath the ship to the bottom to kind of check out the vehicle bay. She kind of like swerves around, kind of takes a little bit, and then goes back up to the top of the ship and kind of looks down. She goes, Captain, the vehicle bay is closed. To be honest, I couldn't get a good sight, but nothing's open. In fact, it looks pretty shut tight. Looks like the best course, or at least I would recommend, is the dorsal entrance. See here on deck A, the junction A1. That's where we could lock up and get an umbilical set up.
yeah. John comes back out and says, oh, "Yeah, I believe that there could be people still here. They would most likely be in cryosleep, but I think we have to do what we can. This seems like it's an important vessel related to the development of technology for us and many generations to come."
Right. Acknowledged. Thank you, Liaison Miller. First Officer Davis, proceed with landing. Crewman Chim, you had a thought. We were in the middle of a flight path there. What were you saying?
Oh, me? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if there's people on board, hopefully they can help us move some of the stuff we're supposed to get.
Agreed.
Well, orders are we have to escort this thing, but I don't know how active it is.
Crewman Cham, why don't you help me? We need to visit our cargo bay and get some supplies.
Yes.
Crewman Cham,
sir.
First Officer Davis, land, and the rest of you, we're gonna go help get this umbilical set up. Cham, you're with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, as you guys can see, you have tons of gear that you can use. There's 5 different compression suits, starting with air supply 5 in each, which we'll get into more about consumables and supply when we actually start making rolls for it. But there is a motion tracker, a cutting torch, a bolt gun, a service pistol, a harpoon grappling gun, an incinerator unit, and a power loader. So those are kind of the equipment you have on the ship available to you. But yeah, so who is doing what currently? Basically, Davis does kind of like fly the ship to the top of the ship, the dorsal, and kind of like matches up in tune with like where your umbilical could connect to the A1 junction port. But
So all the NPCs who are not, all the NPCs are going to help attach the umbilical.
Okay.
They're doing crewman stuff. Cham is with
Why?
me. Huh?
No, I just find it funny. Rye, you're Rye's rival, and now you're just like, Rye, go sit up the umbilical.
No, I'm Wilson's rival.
Yeah.
Rye also didn't like you.
No, I don't. I mean, maybe
Rye,
I am their boss. Like that's fine. I understand that there's a certain amount of begrudgment, and I'm often telling Rye to do laborious,
you are
stuff.
Rye's rival.
Hey,
as
go
well.
fix this. Hey, this isn't working. Go fix this.
Yeah, I don't think the relationships
like
are.
if Rye isn't my biggest fan, I'm not even that mad at her for it.
I don't think the relationships are symmetrical. Like just because
Yeah.
it's on one way doesn't mean it works
Yeah.
both ways.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad about it. That's fine. She didn't have to like me. She just has to obey what I say.
Perfect. So basically, yes, Davis is going to pilot the ship to match course, kind of get it over. Rye gets on one of the 5 compression suits that you have, does a spacewalk, and starts attaching the umbilical extension between the 2 ships. So yeah, this is a good time to kind of check in. What is everybody else doing at this point, and how is the gear being distributed?
Yeah. I'd imagine Wilson at least is just getting prepared, right?
Hey, I forget what's a power loader again.
That's the
It-
thing that Ripley uses to tear open stuff.
Yeah, it's like a
In
construction.
Alien,
It's the suit,
where
the big suit.
Yeah, she fights the queen with it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
There's no way we
Like
can
a
get that
mech
thing onto the
forklift.
ship, right?
No.
Yeah,
Just
there's no
fucking-
way.
Challenge accepted.
Not through the umbilical.
No, that's not through the umbilical. That's fine. We might be able to.
I don't know. We
Look,
have a cutting torch.
There's a stairwell. There's a stairwell, and there is. Let's see. Where's the bridge?
The bridge is on deck B of the Cronus.
We might be able to get down to. Let me see. Hold on. So junction A1 probably leads to junction B1. That'll take us to the bridge. We might be able to open the bay and have Davis. That's far. If we need to evac real quick, might be easier just to get up a floor. Yeah. All right.
Well, while
Well-
you guys are figuring this out, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I understand being cautious. I mean, if we're going into junction A1, we may as well check. Looks like Cryo is right there on that floor. We could check if there's anybody to wake up to help us for deck A.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think that should be first order of business.
All right. So everybody's going to need to. Everybody's going to need to get into a compression suit. We don't know what the atmosphere is like on this ship.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anyone's a lot, if there is one at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know how Spencer wants to play it, but like at least the 3 of us would each put on a compression suit. I have no idea if he's having
any of the other NPCs do this.
yeah, Rye or Davis come with us.
It's just Rye. Rye's the only NPC. Well, Rye and Davis are the NPCs here. All right. So
Yeah.
Rye.
Yep.
All right.
And what else do we have?
Since Rye, I thought there were more NPCs. Yeah, Rye is coming with us to help move this gear around.
Is there? We have a motion tracker, which is useful. What else do we have? Cutting torch is probably a tool. That is a heavy. Let's see here. I'm trying to make
Let's see.
sense
So your
of-
skills are heavy. You're a heavy machinery expert.
If I'm a heavy machinery expert, then I think looking at the rules, the cutting torch mentions heavy machinery +2. So I'm assuming that means that,
Yeah, let's give that. You get that.
yeah.
Um,
I think a bolt gun is like a single use, like short range like weapon. I see that in the weapon section of the rules.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Uh,
Like, I mean, we can complain about it all we want, but the captain probably gets the service pistol.
yeah, I think that's probably right. Bolt gun should probably go to Davis if she's coming. I need to decide if I want her just to stay stationary.
Yeah, we'd probably leave that to Spencer to see if he'd let that happen or not. I don't know what his plans are or what the rules
Yeah.
really say. What is an incinerator
If not,
unit?
yeah, if not, I want you to have that bolt gun. Can't rely on a cutting torch just to get you out of things.
I mean, we don't have much.
Yeah, I know we don't have much. But Cham, why don't you take the bolt gun as well? I'll take that motion tracker. I don't know if that's probably the best decision. Range combat 1.
Doesn't look like you need to.
Oh, an incinerator unit is a flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in the heavy weapons.
Looks like the only roll you need to make for a motion tracker is a power supply roll after every use. So it starts at 5, but
So it looks like
it'll go down.
there's enough in there for each of us to at least have like a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wilson is certainly is the flamethrower, oh, what's it
The incinerator unit.
incinerator unit? I mean, that's much cooler. That's medium range, so that would be just trying to see. It's a heavy weapon. Just trying to see if that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I think
I'll take one of the incinerators, Wilson says.
you
Oh, is
you
it,
know
there
how
is
to use
only
one of those?
the incinerator. Yeah, I've had training on heavy weapons.
Huh.
It's not a lot, but when you are prepared to go out with the crew, you have to take some trainings just to make sure you're able to utilize what's necessary. And it was briefly mentioned, but
A part of your HR orientation?
yes, it's
Okay.
not all of us pay attention, but I try to be studious.
All right.
Spencer, we were wondering if the other two NPCs are going to come with us onto this ship and need to be like outfitted with gear, or if.
So funny you mentioned that. It's up to you guys if you want them to stay on the Cronus, stay on the Montero, or come aboard with you on the Cronus. This is a moment in time. Rye goes down, sets up, does some heavy machinery, and sets up the umbilical cord. Comes back and says like, yeah, the main airlock of the Cronus is damaged, but it's all set up and ready to go. We just need to figure out who wants to go. So, out of character, it's up to you guys who you want to bring along or who you want to stay behind. I would imagine the pilot would stay behind, but it's up to you.
I think so too. Yeah. Unfortunately, we need Davis to stay here and be ready for hasty exits.
Mm-hmm.
Rye, Cham, Wilson, you're coming with me on board.
Okay. So it sounds like we could the four of us each put on a compression suit. Captain, you've got the motion tracker and the service pistol. I've
Yeah.
got the cutting torch and bolt gun. The Wilson has the incinerator unit, and then Rye probably takes the harpoon gun.
Is an incinerator a heavy? Well, is the bolt gun heavy machinery, or is one of them is the incinerator heavy machinery?
The bolt gun is heavy machinery and an improvised like short range weapon.
What about the incinerator unit?
The incinerator unit is, I believe, a heavy weapon.
It is.
A heavy weapon, which is different from heavy machinery. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the bolt gun. Miller, cutting torch and the bolt gun are yours. Looking through, and you just see the captain at their captain's chair, just thumbing through, or actually at their station, just scrolling through, and you see your pictures of each of you getting pulled up, and your dossiers.
Yeah.
Is the what is the motion detector considered? Is that a Comtech thing?
Not that I've seen. You don't have to roll for it other than just for using power supply.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Unless
I'm not
power
seeing...
supply is important for Comtech or gives you more. I didn't check that.
Basically,
and the harpoon gun, is that ranged combat?
The harpoon gun is listed under rifles. So I'm assuming.
Okay, so I have the pistol, bolt gun, switch sham. Yeah. All right, I'm going to give, well, yeah, Wilson, as you reach for the, is that ranged combat, the incinerator? Is it going to be a ranged combat roll?
I think so. I think like any gun, like rifle,
It's
pistol,
probably-
whatever, is going to be ranged combat.
unless it's specific.
It's medium range, so it's not considered close combat if it's medium range. I can't remember exactly the range name for.
Is that in
combat.
the? Sorry, I'm not. I am having trouble remembering the weapons from the. Where is it? Didn't you have a PHB in here somewhere?
Yeah, I can relink that to you. Just a sec.
Yeah.
Close combat happens at engaged range, so medium range would not be close combat.
I'm going to post it in the general chat. There we go. But anyways, yeah. So definitely you can definitely download the book and kind of double check on that. But as long as we know who's carrying what for right now, that should be good. So and it
Yeah.
sounds like we have everything distributed, right?
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, seems like it.
unless I decide to take the flamethrower away from Wilson and give it to Rye,
Mm-hmm.
and then give Wilson the harpoon gun.
Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and kind of describe as you guys kind of start your expedition into the Cronus, if you guys are ready for that. If you guys notice on these maps, on the deck above deck D map, which is all the way to the far right, there is a map legend. So if you ever need to see kind of like what all these different symbols on here mean, you can definitely take a look at that. So, but basically, yeah. So the Montero floats above the Cronus, and the umbilical is attached. Yeah. So Rye comes back saying that, like, yeah, I got it all set up. The airlock is damaged, so what we'll need to do is like pressurize it on this end, and then we can go in there. So basically, that's what you guys do. You kind of pressurize the umbilical cord. The first airlock, it just kind of connects, because usually between airlocks there's like an outer door and an inner door. So that one's malfunctioning, so it just pressurizes all the way to that inner door, and then you can open up the next door. So I imagine that's what you guys do. You kind of pressurize it, you link it, and then you kind of like open up the next door and work your way down into the ship. And how this kind of works is that below the airlock right here, it actually is gravity works. So you kind of like touch down into the Cronus. And for the most part, how this junction A1 is kind of set up is it's kind of like an open floor with like a ladder that goes straight down from the center. So I like to imagine you kind of like touch down into the airlock, and then you open up the next door. You kind of climb down a ladder into junction A1, and then from here you can kind of see, you can kind of put yourselves right here on to A1, and you can kind of explore the ship from there. But for the most part, it's kind of like an open kind of like octagon, like flat kind of area with like a ladder in the center there. That kind of goes up to the airlock, but also goes further down. And if you look at the other floor plans, this junction A1, the ladder in the center, extends down into junction B1 on deck B and C2 on deck C. So it goes all the way down to deck C from here. But you guys kind of just enter in and land on junction A1 for right now. So go ahead and bring your characters onto the map. Captain Miller or anybody else, are you guys bringing Rye along with you?
Yeah, Rye's
Yeah.
coming with us.
Rye's coming with you. Cool. So we'll go ahead and put you there. Strangely enough, while it's derelict and everything like that, Rye seems to be in pretty good spirits. She's excited to get a pay increase and a boost, and kind of like happily like after she shows disdain towards you when you first give her the order, Captain Miller. But once she's like inside the ship, she's kind of like skipping a little bit, like has a little bit extra hop to her step, like excited to just grab whatever these samples are and get paid. So
Great.
but yeah. So yeah, so you touch down to the ship. So unlike your kind of like clean, kind of pristine, kind of like the whiteness of kind of like your nice hallways, clearly flat, you can tell this is definitely an older ship. It is not as pristine. It's not built for kind of like aesthetics. It's definitely built more so for like function and form as an early, faster than light starfaring ship, right? Like this showed by the fact that in order to traverse the different decks, you have to use a ladder, right? In between the floors. So you kind of touch down. The first thing you might notice is that as you kind of drop down into the Cronus, it is cold. It's in a deep freeze. Clearly, the temperature systems have not been engaged. The life support systems have not been engaged. And thankfully, because you have your compression suits on, you're fine. But it seems like frost has kind of gone over different parts of like the walls and everything like that. On top of this, it is dark. So there are like no lights on, except for weak emergency lights. So all zones in this ship count as dark. So that's, if you want to know more about that, it gives you a penalty to like observation rolls and such throughout the ship. So just all zones are currently dark in the Cronus because of that. Artificial gravity is still working though. That's what you currently notice as you kind of touch down in your compression suits. And we are going to shift into what's called stealth mode since you guys are now aboard the Cronus. So, in Alien, there are two different modes. There is stealth mode and combat. So, I know you guys have done your reading for this, but essentially, stealth mode is everything outside of combat. Combat is very similar to like D&D. The reason why I'm saying stealth mode starts now is because you've left your ship. That kind of like story premise is over, and now you're starting like the main kind of like cinematic play, right? So stealth mode works by basically dividing things into turns. You can think of turns as 10 to 15 minutes in length. We discussed shifts earlier. Turns are just, shorter, 10 to 15 minutes. It's like a way to kind of like organize different times. I think as they kind of describe, let's see, I can go to the specific page, but as they kind of describe turns and everything, think of turns like the specific mechanic is you can explore about 2 zones in a turn, 25 meters. So that's kind of like the hard mechanics of kind of like how stealth mode kind of works and everything. It's a little, compared to other games, a little bit more gamey and stuff. And the reason why I think Alien does this is because I have stuff I have to move and do in the background. And well, maybe not right now, but in the future, as we're kind of playing, you guys are going to take turns like exploring different things, either together or separately. And then I get to move stuff around. So that's kind of just something to kind of keep in mind. I did find the page. It starts on page 82. No, sorry. 85. But basically, yeah, starts talking about stealth in stealth mode and stuff like that. But yeah, in one turn you can move 2 zones on the map and explore them, scanning for enemies and getting a superficial description of those 2 zones from me, the game mother. If you're a team, you can explore the map individually or as a group. If you want to examine something in a zone more closely, such as accessing a data terminal, you need to stay one entire turn or even longer in a single zone, with me having the final say. But yeah. So, and then if anything ever does go into combat, that's when we kind of go into like slow and fast actions. We kind of slow things down into kind of that instead. But does that make sense so far for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Great. Cool. All right, so you guys currently are in Junction A1. As you can see, this junction has a ladder that goes all the way down to Deck C, but there are hallways that kind of connect to the different parts of this Deck A from right here as well. I kind of described it as it is dark, it is cold, but the gravity still works, so it's got that going for it. So what is everybody doing currently?
I think we said we probably wanted to make our way to the cryo rooms first.
Yeah,
to
perfect.
see if there's anybody there. But I mean, it definitely seems we don't really have a way of knowing.
So is the air scrubbers? Is that just like an air filtration, like shaft? Is that what that is? The air scrubber shaft?
Yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to think how much you would know. I would I'm trying to think of how much you would know. Air scrubbers in general, yeah, it's general ship layout. You would know this. I think your roughnecks would know more in detail, but you, from like a general perspective, know that air scrubbers basically filter air for the ship. Like that's
Right.
like
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
yeah, that's like general like it. That's how fresh air kind of is filtered throughout the ship and gets fresh.
Great.
So,
I know
yeah.
you mentioned it was like cold and dark.
Yes.
But is there a way for us to tell if like there's any like life support systems functioning? Like you said, gravity was working.
Yep. Because your feet touch down the ground.
Yep.
Probably there you don't have any scanners or anything like that, but a good way to kind of like get a good check on the ship and the system might be at the bridge.
Okay, so maybe we try to make our way to the bridge first to see if life support is functioning, and if we like if we take people out of cryo, they'd be able to like live. And if not, then we can maybe try to go to storage and see if there's like some sort of like if they have any compression suits or anything to get people into.
Yeah, all right. So let's make our way to cryo.
Okay, that's right there. We can together we can at least check and see if there's bodies that are
I mean,
in cryo.
Yeah, if they're obviously like desiccated and but if they're looking, I mean, we can see if the cryopods are still functioning.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Like we don't necessarily need to like let them out or anything, but like it's good knowledge to know if they're actually like there and preserved first off.
can see in them.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah.
While you guys go do that, or I guess I'm talking a character. So I'm going to check with Mother to see if I can get any information about the ship systems. See if
How?
she can.
Where
do
are you
anything.
going?
What?
Where are you going?
I mean, according to the map, she's right there, and I like gestured down the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's literally on the wall. There's an arrow.
Oh yeah, there's an intercom-y thing, isn't there? Okay, we have the
No, like the room, Mother's room is like right north of us.
Oh, yeah.
It says it on the wall.
No, we stick
Mother.
together.
Air.
You want to check out Mother, fine. We can check out Mother, but we're going as a group. You're not going off on your own.
Yes, Captain.
All right.
So are you guys going to Mother first then, or down to the cryo?
We're going to Mother first then.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mother first.
Do as my captain commands.
You just start to like walk off, and I'm like, the fuck do you think you're doing?
Like pulls him by the scruff, like, wait a second.
Where are you going?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and normally, so like as you can see,
I can't pick my person up.
You can't? Try to drag your token back on the screen then again.
Oh, okay.
Can you move him now?
Yeah, I can move this one.
Okay, perfect. I'll just adjust your size and everything.
Cool.
About right there. Cool. But yeah, normally, so as you can see these like dividers on here. So normally if you could only move 2 zones, this would be 1 zone, as I'm showing with Rye. This would be 2 zones. And then after everybody gets to like that zone, that would be a turn. So then I would, if there was anything I needed to move, I would move stuff. And then we would begin the second turn, and then the second turn would you guys be getting to the zone of Mother, and then like the instructions said, if you want to examine a zone or access a data terminal, you have to stay there an entire turn, and so you'd be getting there like in half a turn. So then you have to spend yet another turn. So as you can see, I could be moving tons of stuff in the background during that kind of time as you're just progressing and then accessing Mother. But just to kind of explain things as things kind of go on.
Okay.
Right.
Should make it slower.
But we don't know stuff's moving in the background, so this makes perfect sense of what we should be doing.
Yeah, I could be moving all sorts of stuff right now, or absolutely nothing.
Right. So half a turn, and then wait half a turn, and then full turn, we've accessed the motherboard. So
Correct.
what has happened in that time?
Yeah. So basically, So Wilson, would you like to describe how you kind of approach Mother, sit down in the? So this, compared to your Montero, this is a much bigger. It's an older Mother system. This Mother system is a 2000 model. It's much bigger. It's much more spacious. This is probably like. It's similar in kind of like design with like the white kind of like around with like the blinking lights, but very similar to like Alien stuff. But it's a much larger room, probably a much larger base for Mother to kind of compute compared to your Mother's 6500 system. So
Oh, hey, can I use the? Well, no, fuck. Why would I use the motion tracker? That doesn't make any sense. Never mind.
I mean, you can. You just
No,
have to
but
make
why
a
would I?
consumable
Just
power roll
like
afterwards.
that doesn't make any sense. Like, why a motion tracker? We're not expecting any hostile activity. This is just like a random ass ship.
Probably not going to be people roaming around.
Right.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, so Wilson sits down and basically just attempts to get information on if Mother can activate any of the reactivate like the power or like at least push power over to the lighting systems and to I guess to the heating systems, whatever that would entail. See what Mother can do. Again, just a rundown of the operational status of the vessel.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, yeah, you kind of sit down, and the first thing you kind of notice is that you like start to like type like your normal like access, and then it asks for it specifically. It's just like command sequence required or emergency access key. So you probably like you type in your command sequence. Well, I would imagine you do so. And then basically from there, I like to imagine like Mother replies with like, or just kind of waits for your command. You say activate like life support systems. And suddenly you hear kind of like a rumble throughout the entire ship as the Cronus comes online and powers up the reactor and life support systems. You just hear like a deep growl come from like the base of the ship as the reactor starts to and you hear you start to the first thing you actually kind of notice is that the first thing that immediately happens is the temperature starts to increase, and maybe as you look out to the hallway you see some lights start to like flicker and turn on. You also hear like some rumbles, and then like the kind of like the sound of air coming out of vents as well. So you get a message then, Wilson. Life support systems activated. Welcome to the USCSS Cronus Scientific Exploratory Vessel.
Well,
Company Agent
I
Wilson.
think that was successful. So
Great.
Is this room okay? So basically, I'm gonna say to everybody else, I don't know if they're like hovering over. Are you guys like hovering over my shoulder or?
I don't know what everybody else is doing. I'm standing with my pistol aimed at the door.
Rye is picking her teeth with a toothpick. She seems to be very relaxed.
Okay.
Actually, she has a suit on, so she's like trying to like do it with her tongue.
Can I ask Mother what the primary directive of this ship was?
Yeah. You type in like what
And
is the
scientist
primary?
on it. Yeah.
What is primary directive? And then she replies back, primary directive of USCSS Cronus Scientific Exploratory Vessel, investigate archaeological site.
Okay. Interesting. Can you tell me more?
Company agent's presence detected. Will not disclose information.
Did you cut off and you meant non-company agents detected?
Yes, non-company.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wait,
sorry,
I was like,
sorry.
wait, what?
Non-company agents, yes.
Okay. So I speak up to the group. Wilson does, and it's like I was able to get, as you can see, life support systems back online, trying to get more information about what's going on here, but it is classified, and I'll need everybody to leave the room, or else I can't get the information. Mother won't give it to me.
Fine. That's fine by me. I can wait outside.
Huh. All right. Well, so what's it say, Wilson?
What do you mean? What's it say?
I'm your captain.
That's great.
I think
but you aren't
Justin
privy to this
is assuming
information.
we have left and you've gotten the information. Is that
Oh, okay.
what you're doing, Justin?
No, I'm there. I'm in the room. Why would I leave? I'm the captain. I need to know this information.
I will
Mother
share.
I have access to classified information all the time.
Mother has specifically given a message back to Wilson that it will not disclose any more information about the purpose of the archaeological dig with non-company agents present.
All right. Fine. Then I'm going to take the rest of the turn to go back into. All right. This area.
Yeah. Come on,
And I do
Rye.
have a key card or
That's-
access key card. I don't know if I need to slot that in or if that's what that's for, or if it's used for just like other areas of certain chips. But
So funny enough, you mentioned that is the key card you use to kind of access Mother. So you gave her
Oh,
command
okay,
codes,
okay.
but to actually get in this room, you did have to use that key card. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. So
okay,
and
no, that's
just
good.
one more piece of like greater context for like the state of mind of our
Yeah.
characters. We don't know that extraterrestrials even exist at this point in time, right? Like we
No.
we have no knowledge. There's been no idea or like public information about us knowing that aliens may or may not exist, except for the cool Predator movie that came out. Because I think Predator is canon.
Predators. There might be rumors of predators.
There are
They've
rumors
been
of
around
predators.
for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, look. I remember when I was a kid, I watched this really, really old movie. It was like 100 and something years old. It's called "In Close Encounters of the Third Kind," where we talk to aliens with music or something. I don't know. I was a little kid.
I heard they were scared of water from something called
Yeah,
Signs.
I don't think it was that movie.
That was,
I-
that was
yeah,
Signs. That was M. Night
sometimes I- yeah.
Shyamalan. It turns out that the aliens couldn't. They wanted to colonize the planet that was like 70% water, but they were allergic to water. That was the twist.
It's true.
What a twist!
What a twist, Mr. Shyamalan.
It's like us looking at an acid rain planet. We're like, ooh, that seems good.
Let's go there.
True. All right.
But-
yeah. So
No, yeah, I think we can assume that Rye also comes outside with us, and
Yeah,
we'll
Rye's coming with us, obviously.
yeah. So I, at this point, will have you, Spencer, just
Yep.
give me that information fully secretly.
I
Excuse
was
me.
actually
All right.
typing that up. So
All right.
So it's
I
going to take
figured
the whole
that.
turn while he's accessing that for us to like leave and get into here.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess, you know, as humans, we certainly coming out to space and colonizing and everything, we would think that there's something else, and still in these 100 years or whatever, I don't know when. Do we know this universe, like when we actually started like colonizing and moving away from Earth?
It's like right
It's
now it's like 2150-ish, and this
Yeah.
ship would have left if it's 75 years old, 2075.
I guess so. Yeah, this could be one of the first.
Yeah, because this
for
is
sure.
built. This is built on a world that was created in 1979, and they thought we would be way more technologically advanced than we are right now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that too, because like the Alien book specifically gives a lot of information about like the universe and stuff, which is really cool. Like here's like when you first open, oh, that's not going to show up. But when you first open the book, it's like a giant star chart. So like it does that, and then it gives a timeline like
Mhm.
pretty early on, which is like super neat. That's the biggest thing that like when we play Dune and stuff like that, like it just does it's like just a good resource, kind of like a Bible or like a storybook of just like knowledge and events and stuff, which is
Nice.
pretty cool. So yeah, so there you are, Christian. I have sent you what Mother responded. So if you have any further questions, feel free to whisper back. But yeah, while Christian / Wilson is doing that, maybe Rye kind of comes over to Cham and goes, what does Cham look like right now? Is Cham a little tense, on edge? How's he feeling as he goes into the ship?
I think Cham is trying to be like positive on purpose.
Yeah,
Like he's trying to keep things light.
yeah.
Not show too much stress, even though like he probably is.
Yeah. Well, Rye probably comes over and kind of just like does like that shoulder punch, and then at ya just kind of like punches you in your shoulder and goes, "How much of a bonus do you think we're gonna get from this?"
Hopefully a good one. And I mean like, hey, there might be something we could sneak for ourselves. It's an old ship. Probably
Yeah.
wouldn't notice if something goes missing.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's a science ship, right? It's got to have tons of good stuff we can filter through. Yeah.
Do I hear any of this?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, we're not that far away.
Turn slowly and just stare at you.
Cap. I mean, come on. What's
We're not
But,
taking anything.
what's
Well, I mean, our
but-
directive was to take some stuff.
Yeah, we
We're
specifically
taking.
gotta.
Fine, we're taking what we're told to take and nothing more. All right. Look, they log where we go, what we do. Mother knows everything. Mother knew we were in the room. You think she's not going to know if you take something? I'm not getting hit for what your little sticky fingers.
Fine.
And if I find out you took anything, I'm going to have you court-martialed myself.
All right, Captain. I'm sorry. Just trying to keep the mood light.
Yeah, geez, Cap. And probably while you guys are having this conversation, another turn or two has passed. And as I was mentioning before, with the like everything kind of turning back on, you notice that so like the air now is no longer like cold. It is warm now. You notice that actually like a haze of vapor like was coming out as you kind of walked into the corridor, and now the effects of cold and darkness are removed. So the ship's no longer dark.
Okay.
It's warm. You hear you hear that the air scrubbers are making quite a bit of noise. It's just really loud.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, I'm going to use, while he's doing this and we're in here, can I use the motion sensor? See if we woke anybody up?
Yeah, go ahead. So go ahead and use the motion sensor. And you kind of like, I imagine you kind of move it around. Let me go ahead and bring up that in the gear because I didn't have that pulled up, but it's under other equipment and vision devices. And basically it goes out to let's see here. Well, operates the same, so it's much more limited. Oh no, that's a different. Is it 314 or 316 motion tracker? I forget.
Oh, in our gear, it is a M314 motion tracker.
1-4. Okay, so it is extreme and open terrain, long range, and quarters. And long range, I believe, is how far is long range? That's pretty far in zones. I think it's like 3 zones.
3 zones. Or no,
Yeah.
sorry, I just saw a +3 next to extreme. That's not what that means.
There is a number of meters technically for the ranges. I can't remember. I think extreme is like 100 plus, or maybe that's long. I don't know. It's on the combat and ranges or something like that.
Long range is up to 4 zones indoors and extreme range outdoors. I don't know. I'm reading the motion tracker section in the cinematic starter kit PDF, and it just says the tracker will automatically detect the presence of any large moving objects within long range (parentheses up to 4 zones indoors) and extreme range outdoors, and let you know which zone they are in. We recommend that you mark the ping of movement from a motion tracker by placing a token of some sort on the map.
Yeah, they actually have what's really cool. They have like little motion tracker like tokens in here that on the other side is like the thing you find, which is cool because you could just have it there, and then when you get there, you flip over the token, and it's like, oh, that's what it is. But here's what I'll be able to do. So we said, what was it? Did we say 4 zones? Is that
4
what it
zones.
said?
It says within long range, which is up to 4 zones indoors.
Yeah. So I would say that goes probably all the way to the cryo zones. And here's what happens: you flip it on, and basically you do see you've got movement. You detect movement within the corridors of the Cronus in this hallway right here. It moves from the right side of the map towards like the left side, just a little boop boop type deal.
Yeah.
So yes.
Weapons at the ready.
Everybody increase your stress level by 1 with that, except for Wilson, because Wilson is not there.
Can't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I immediately, like, go quiet and, like, post up around a corner.
Yeah. What is everybody doing this, like, full turn? Is everybody just kind of, like, bunkering down right here? Is anybody gonna go check it out, or?
I think we bunker down here for
Yeah.
now until we can.
Yeah, I put the movement detection device down and ready my pistol.
Cool. If you're all just kind of hunkering down and kind of readying for it, the movement continues along this corridor and kind of gets over here, and then it disappears off of the motion tracker.
Where did it go?
It went over to the left side of here, and then it stopped. Justin, since you used that, go ahead and make a power supply roll. It has a full battery of 5. So how this works is that you roll all 5 dice, and if one of them hits a 1, you reduce your power supply from 5 to 4. Oh shoot, we're supposed to be doing this with your oxygen too. I forgot. Since you're wearing your suits, you are supposed to do that. But we'll do that in just a second.
Well, we turned on the. So we would have done.
Yeah,
it
we should have
before
done that. We should have done that a
the-
couple turns ago.
Yeah, we'll resolve that in just a second.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll let Justin roll his power supply, and then
You added a space in between the 5 and the
Yep.
D6.
Oh, fuck you!
bring that down to 4. 4 power supply now.
Oh, it's not down to 2. All right. Well, that's good.
No, you just don't want to roll a 1. If you roll a 1, it goes down. Otherwise, you're good. I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it
All
doesn't
right.
mean like you lose a use each time you do it. It's just like, and that's the other thing too, is like you have more of a chance to lose it the higher your supply is, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, so it's what you're supposed to do is for air, I believe you're supposed to do it every turn, if I remember correctly, for that. I can
So we
double
owe
check.
you 2.
We'll just call it 2 rolls for right now. So air is da 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 da. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the right section, the right page. That's not what I was going for.
That's in suits and armors.
It is? Okay. So
Yeah. So the IRC MK.50 compression suit, the Mark 50 compression suit this is 5 air supply. So
yeah.
yeah. How are you guys getting the cool? Where is that?
Why did you roll all stress die?
I don't know. It did. I just clicked the air button.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to roll panic dice for air rolls.
I don't think so. But anyways, I'll wait till.
Well, I think
Where is this? Wait, where are these? Where's this? The air button? What do we talk about here? Is that under gear?
I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry.
Where'd you guess?
Consumables, food and water, light. Where's the? Okay, it just wanted me to roll panic dice, like, because the ones are what matters in this one.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
So Justin, in your journal, there should be your character. There should be like 2 of them. There's like a Miller, officer, and there's a Vanessa Miller.
Mm-hmm.
If you open up the one that's Vanessa Miller, that should pull up like a character sheet.
Oh, okay.
And then what I did is in the bottom left corner, there's like a section of consumables. I filled out 5 for air, since like our
Oh.
compression suit has 5, and then I clicked just the air button, and it made an air roll. So I lost 1 thing of air. I go down to 4. I do another one, and nothing.
you. Oop.
Cool. I have all my air. Oh, wait, that roll. Cool. Uh-oh.
I lost both of mine.
You lost 2 airs.
I lost 2.
2 out of 5.
Oh shit! Wait. No, when you wait. So I lost 1. So then I'd add 4. So then I should be only rolling for 4.
That's true.
Correct.
Not 5. So I needed to update that and roll again. Actually, my bad. Okay, I didn't lose for the second one. I kind of cheated here, re-rolled it.
Oh, you're good.
But I did it wrong.
We're learning. Okay.
Okay, so 1 stress, 4 air. Got all my stuff. We saw there was motion. Spencer, in that direction, am I assuming that's like an elevator thing?
Yeah. So basically, how this ship kind of works is that Junction A1 has stairs, as well as this one has a stairwell too. There's a second Junction A2 down the bottom that has also stairs, but there are 2 elevators to the left and 2 elevators to the right, and both of those elevators from the schematics go all the way down to the vehicle bay on deck C, or deck D. Sorry, deck D.
What do you think, Captain? Should we try to figure out what it is that's moving around?
No, we're going to stick to the original plan. We're going to see Cryo. If we find something open, we have a good idea what it is. If it wasn't them, we have new issues to worry about. There might be pirates on board and we didn't know about it.
Okay. I'll try to like. So now that we know that like it seems like air is working, I'll volunteer to like check. Like I'll like take the helmet or whatever like it is that I need to do to the decompression suit to like decompress.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of like press the button and you're able to kind of safely remove your helmet. The air you smell in the Cronus is stale, and as you take a deep breath in, it feels heavy. Fun fact I learned from online. If you're breathing in like a different substance other than carbon dioxide, your body doesn't know. The only way your body knows that it's breathing something else in is because it can detect your levels of carbon dioxide when they rise in your blood. And that's what's happening to you right now. Cham, is you notice that there is high concentration of carbon dioxide, and so by breathing in this air, you no longer have to make your air supply rolls. However, all stamina rolls are now going to be at -2.
Okay, so like I'll relay that. Like I'll say like, hey, it's definitely like shallow. But breathable technically.
All right. Well, it's breathable, but you do what you feel is comfortable. Let's. I'll take mine off for now, but I'm not gonna like put my helmet down. Is there any way I can keep my helmet with my suit?
Sure, you can like hold it.
All right.
It's a big bulbous thing, but you can hold it.
All right.
I personally just don't want to keep it like active, like if I don't
Yeah.
super need
We
it.
shouldn't be burning through our oxygen reserves if we don't have to. I agree. All right.
Cool. Has Wilson rejoined the group?
Yeah, I was waiting for like a clear indication of like the turn changing so I could come in.
It's a new turn. As you kind of join everybody else, you do notice that both the captain and Wilson and Rye have all taken their helmets off. It's just to remind everybody, so Justin and Dalton, you should have marked a stress. Your stress has increased for your characters.
I do have a
Because
stress.
Cool, just making sure. And all that means is that from now on, when we roll dice, when it's like an actual like mechanical roll, like if I say like which the game should do for you, you can't. You can think of it like this: you're not going to get a critical failure just with your normal dice that you roll for it, like adding your skill plus your stat. However, now that you have stress, you have one stress, so now you're going to be rolling one extra die, which is nice. It increases your chances of getting a success. However, if you roll a 1, you have to make a panic roll, which doesn't necessarily mean you failed whatever you're trying to do, but it means we have to go to the panic roll table and you have to roll on that. If you roll a 6 or below, nothing happens, but like if anything is above that, then something could go wrong. You just roll 1d6 and you add your stress level and kind of take the result from there. So at this point, 1 stress, not going to be a big deal, but later on it might get pretty significant. So anywho, yes, go ahead, Christian.
As Wilson comes back in, he kind of comes through the door hurriedly.
Yeah.
And it just states that there are crew members still alive on this vessel, and we must save them.
Save them? Like, are they in danger?
From what?
Well, I mean, rescue them, right?
Okay.
Like,
are they in? Do you know if they're in cryo? Do you know where they're at?
Mother didn't tell me. I would assume that they are indeed in cryo.
Okay. Well, let's make our way there.
All right. Christian, is Wilson taking off his helmet as well?
Yeah, at this point, I think it would be logical for him to kind of take off that equipment.
You do so. So if we are taking another turn passing, go ahead and move you guys 2 zones, which it seems a little silly at this point to kind of like consider this a zone, but I could say the hallways are kind of long, so moving 2 zones, like you make it to like probably the end of here, and then making your way to the cryo, it's probably going to take another 2 turns, let's say. Does that sound okay?
Another 2 turns to get into the cryo area?
Oh, just 2 turns to get there. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we just progress through the 2 turns, or do we need to do turn 1 and then turn 2?
I'm just keeping track, so I know what it is and stuff. But yes, go ahead and put yourselves there. So, okay, you guys make it to the cryo chambers. So, like I said before, you're walking through the hallways. The temperature has risen, so that's the good news. It no longer you see the frost kind of melting on the side of the ship. The haze kind of start to kind of like come through of like warm air. As you walk past the air scrubber shaft, it is rumbling. It is loud. It sounds like an old rusted machine just cranking. Then, you get to the cryo chambers. The main door into this area, as you kind of look around, has claw marks around the edges of the doorway, as if something was trying to scratch its way in. As you go and try to press the button to open up, the door is locked from the inside.
Here, let me try. And like, I don't know if there's anything I can do as the part of the company that, like, if I have access over,
Does your key card work?
Yeah, I like flash my key card and it's like try and.
Yeah, you scan it. It kind of does a bump, bump, bump. Not like not authorized, just as in it scans. It does a little chink, like it approves it, but the door's chunk, and it stays shut, like mechanically locked.
Does this seem like a job for a cutting torch?
It seems like a job for heavy machinery role for sure.
All right, I'll ask permission from the captain. Captain, do I have permission to use my cutting torch to try to open this door?
Better damn well.
Should.
All right, so go ahead whenever you're ready.
No. No, let's see if we can't. Get them out. Let's not damage the ship just in case. Well, yeah, it's an emergency ship. Let's just get them out and get back on the ship. Yeah,
Sounds
absolutely. Good. Authorized.
Cool. I take out my cutting torch. I light it up however that works, and I go to like try to open up the door. It looks like there's 1 success in there.
Perfect. Great. Yeah, and
absolutely bonkers that I just rolled how many fucking dice? 4, 5, 6.
That's a lot
7,
of dice.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, you got 2 successes.
No, I got 1 success.
Wait. Oh, because it subtracts out.
Your strength is really high, and you're like, oh
no,
so that's
I have 5
you're
strength.
Roughneck.
I have 3 in heavy machinery, and I have the cutting torch, which adds +2, and 1 stress, which gets me 11 dice. And
that's amazing.
I only rolled a single success.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, that's
the ones cancel out the other 5s, right?
No.
No, 5s.
No, so the 1 will only matter if it's one of the stress dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you see that like cross symbol? That's a success. That's a 6.
Oh, so it's only a success on the 6.
Yes. Only 6s count as successes.
Correct.
Oh.
And you only need 1 success to succeed on the action. Any additional successes will gives you like, what is it called? Stunts? And they're
correct.
Each little like type of roll, you can get little bonuses for additional successes.
Yeah,
okay.
like in combat, if you roll additional successes, it's like an extra point of damage. But like, in outside of it, it like it's cool because they break down each skill and says like this skill, it's this stunt, which is cool that it kind of
Okay.
Like I could find the
the
heavy
pages.
machinery one real quick.
Yeah. While you're doing that, basically, yeah, you take the cutting torch and you kind of like run it along the side where like the locking mechanism was, and you're able to just kind of like cut through. And you do that to all 3 doors because there's 3 cryo bays, right? So you do that to like all 3 doors.
Oh, cool. That it applies to all 3 doors?
Yeah, so
Oh,
basically
alright.
think of like, here's how Alien kind of sets this up. You're not supposed to roll like a ton because of stress and how much that can really affect the game and everything. It's supposed to be like small, impactful kind of rolls. So yeah, in order to open up the doors, you have to make that heavy machinery, but I definitely think that counts for all 3 of them.
Okay.
Because it's not a game where
right.
you're
So if
simply
you were
just
like fighting a bunch of aliens, you'd be like, I fire into the crowd of aliens. That'd be like, great. You get
no, combat's
you do
different.
some damage. Oh,
I-
okay.
But yeah, you're kind of understanding the general point of like, it's supposed to be a game of like, I'm not
We're
supposed
gonna
to
cut
make
the
10
locks,
rolls.
and
Yeah.
you cut. If you succeed once, you cut the locks that you were intending to cut in the first place.
Yeah, like for example,
I got it.
in order to like dock with the ship and get the umbilical, it's supposed to be a piloting check and then a heavy machinery check. But you just commanded the NPCs to do it, so they just did those tasks. So
Sweet.
yeah. But anyways, sorry, Dalton, did you pull up the heavy machinery?
Yeah. So like for example, if I had rolled some bonus successes, I would have gotten to pick from like getting a +1 to later things relating to this, or like I would auto succeed at doing the same thing again. I might have done it like in half the time it would normally take. You break it permanently is a positive option if I'm like trying to break something.
Sabotage.
And like sabotage something, or like acting quietly might be a bonus, or like I think all of them have the option you show off in case you just roll a whole bunch of successes and don't really care what else happens. But cool, I managed to cut open the cryo doors. Very suspicious of the scratch marks. I have no fucking idea what that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll ask Wilson, like, hey, did Mother like mention jaguars or something being transported on this ship? Like, what might this be?
Oh yeah. So while you're cutting those torches, we see the claw marks. I'm gonna run the thing again.
The motion tracker? Yeah, go right ahead. You activate the motion tracker and you kind of scan it around. You probably do a good 360 just to kind of see if anything's moving around. And funny enough, you do have some pings in front of each of these cryo bays, but as the doors open, you see it's the crew. So all of the crew are like, it seems to be once the life systems came on, their pods started to reawaken them. So much like you guys just spent like several hours getting like awakening, drinking, stuff like that, they're going through the same process, literally like just like 10 to 15 minutes ago, like a couple turns ago. Like the pods have just opened up and they're just slowly like opening their eyes and stuff. So the movement you're picking up is just them slowly like getting out of these pods. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's what you kind of see. You see what appears to be a older fella and a sorry, I can give accurate descriptions for there. In this left room here, you see an older man at the age of 47 who has some scruff and some hair. And there is a younger woman who seems to be in a military uniform. That's who this is. Over here in Cryo 2, you see what appears to be two like doctors or scientists. They have like white lab coats on and such like that over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the south, you see what appears to be a middle-aged woman who has like a nice like button-down gray business shirt on with clearly plastered Wayland Yutani on her chest. So, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to tell me what happened here?
Yeah, you were a crew of 17.
Good morning.
Why is there only 5 of you?
Are are you going to a specific room and talking to somebody? Is there somebody specific?
I am going to go talk to. Let's see. I am going to talk to. So, were there any markings on the? So the scientist is over here, right? In Cryo 2.
Yeah, they're both wearing like white lab coats type deal.
And then Cryo 1 was where the military officer was.
Correct. Yes.
And who else is in there? Just the old guy.
A middle-aged
random-
man. Yeah.
Random middle-aged man.
None of them look like a captain.
All right. No, actually, I'm going to go into Cryopod 1 and look at the middle and be like, which one to use the captain?
And you're going to Cryo 2 to say
Cryo
that?
1.
Cryo 1.
Yeah, those are scientists. That's fine.
So
They're
as you walk
doctors.
into here, you actually see you actually hear the voice of Mother actually saying, "Warning, cryo chambers deactivated. Warning, cryo," and that just kind of drones in the background as you kind of walk in. And you step in as they're just all kind of these two are like rubbing their eyes and kind of like slowly like waking up. And you storm in over here and demand to say you say like, "Who's the captain?" Right? They probably both of them kind of look at you and go, "Wait." The middle-aged man kind of looks up at you and goes, "What? Wait, where? Who are you?"
Captain Miller of the Maverick?
Montero.
Montero. Captain Miller of the Montero. We've been sitting here to rescue you. We saw claw marks on the door. That's wildly distressing. What happened?
I also whisper in the
You
captain's...
guys have been missing for 75 years. There's claw marks on the door. Where have you been and what happened?
He takes a moment and kind of puts his like fingers on his head and kind of like looks down.
I know it's a lot, but I need you to tell me this right now.
So this woman kind of like, he's still swirling. She goes, "Valerie Reed, Colonial Marine, security officer on the USCS Cronus, scientific exploratory vessel." And then from here, you might actually hear from across the way, like just mumbles and movement as well, and then Cryo 3 slow movement as well. But Reed kind of like looks at you and goes, "I don't. Did you say 73?
Sure.
I can't remember what happened. You said captain, right?"
I'm a captain. Yes, I'm Captain Williams of the USCSS Montero.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm Valerie Reed, Colonial Marine, security officer.
Oh, I thought this was the older guy talking to me. Right.
Oh no, that was still Reed.
Right.
But she does point over to that middle-aged man and goes, "That's Albert Johns. He's second officer." Wait, no. He's the captain now of the Cronus.
The captain now?
Yes.
What happened to the old captain?
I'm sorry. I just woke up. I don't.
All right, let's get everybody into the examination room. There's suits. There's some closets for some suits. We can get you guys out of your stasis gear and into something more appropriate, and maybe provide it some medical attention. I think there's some. We'll get you some water. I'm sure there's some running water in the examination room.
Cool. So you start herding everybody going that direction.
Yeah.
Christian, I see that you moved Wilson into Cryo 2. Are you doing anything with these individuals specifically?
Yeah, I was going. Wilson's going to have a chat with him, but I know Dalton tried to chime in there.
Now you go ahead,
with,
Christian. I wanted Justin's character to mention that it has been 75 years since anybody has heard from this ship, and he did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard you, bud. I did it.
Yeah, so Wilson comes over and kind of tries to get more information from the scientists, and just kind of quietly, like just asking, can you gentlemen tell me kind of what happened here?
You get a very similar response as both of the doctors kind of like awaken. So one, this older individual to the south, he like kind of like goes to answer, and then he kind of grabs his head and he goes, "Ah," and he kind of rubs his head a little bit. The other one goes, I'm sorry. I'm Liam Flynn. I'm ship medic here. That's Daniel Dr. Cooper. He's one of the scientists here. Who are you? Where are you guys from?
We were sent here. We got a distress signal. Mother told us that you had been drifting for like 73 years now.
Yeah.
We were sent here to rescue you.
Ah.
It sounds like, though, you need a little bit more time to wake up and refresh.
Yeah. He stares kind of like blankly at you as you say that and just nods along.
At that point, I kind of like try and usher them out, and kind of refresh in the examination room, make sure everybody's good.
Yeah. You everybody so I like to think at this moment Justin's character, Captain Wilson, Captain Miller. Yep. Starts ushering all of them into the examination room. When you get to the examination room, you actually see that it is a mess. Things have been thrown about. There are just packets of things all over the place. It is not very clean at all. On top of this, as you're kind of like shuffling people through, you do notice like these guys have just woken up from cryo and they're having a hard time since they've been asleep for so long. If you're going to make any progress with them kind of like waking up, you might need to do a medical aid roll to help them start recover. If not, they'll slowly recover and wake up, but it's just going to take more time. They seem to be very disoriented.
Okay, I'm gonna look for stim packs.
Sure. You do
Juice
see in
them
the
the
medical.
fuck up.
You see in the examination room there are 2 personal med kits in there.
Yeah, I'm popping them open. We got some poppers in there. Something. Stims.
Poppers are separate. That's something else.
I don't know, man. What, do I look like a doctor?
Sorry. Wilson puts back on before he talked to them. Actually, he put back his helmet back on.
You do? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So if
I'll let you know when to
just
make
let
a
me
roll.
know when they're okay.
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, so just to let you know, a personal med kit contains what you need to stop bleeding, disinfect a wound, and cauterize it, some Pharmex bandages to wrap up, and a stim boost to keep you on your feet. A med kit is not a permanent solution, it's more of a band-aid to keep your guts from spilling out until you reach an auto doc. Gives +2 modification to medical aid rolls, but can only be used once. What exactly does a stim boost do?
Now I'm gonna use one. Marine seems to be the most with it, so I'm not going to use it on her. But the first officer seems to be, or second officer seems to be in kind of bad shape. So let's blow one of those on him.
Yeah.
Get him back in the world of the living.
I don't see any specific stats for stim boost, so we'll just say like that like specifically wakes up one person, right? So yeah, you successfully kind of use it on Johns, the second officer, now captain, and kind of boosts him awake a little bit.
So I'm gonna add 2 dice to that pool.
No, you don't have to do anything, I don't think. That's if you wanted to like specifically use like the med kit for like the medicine roll, but
Okay.
I think just using, well, I guess that's what that means, huh?
I mean, I don't know. Look, it's a syringe full of go-go juice.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and
So,
have you do
mean,
let's a medicine roll with +2. So you get 2 extra
Okay.
dice.
And like so when I read stim boost and like how I'm reading it like in context, to me
Yeah.
that's like a medical stimulant, like adrenaline or something to keep you awake and moving, not necessarily something that like does a mechanical effect.
Right.
Yeah, it's a part of a personal med kit.
And the med kit just
I
gives
think it's
+2
just
to
like-
medicine rolls.
Yeah, I feel like it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you could homebrew it a bit, whatever.
Cool.
Okay, so do I need to roll or no?
Yes. Go ahead and do a medicine roll. And then you add 2 to it. But
Cool,
you got
got
success. Nice. Yeah, so you go ahead and take the medicine kit back and administer it. That wakes up Officer Johns. And we'll say this is probably a full turn now. Since
Yeah, that sounds right.
since you kind of put on your helmet back on. So Christian, can you go ahead and have Wilson make another air supply roll?
So nothing to subtract here, right?
No,
We
it
just
should
have
be
a
yeah.
negative to stamina related things, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
So you're good.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't
Yep.
lose anything. So you're good. You stay at 4 supply. So, yeah. So you administer. So Officer Johns kind of bolts awake a little bit and kind of wakes up before everybody else and goes, huh? You said you were captain earlier, right? Right?
Captain Williams, U.S. CSS Montero.
He actually gives you a salute before kind of like realizing, and then kind of puts his hand down shakily.
It's okay. Yeah, I understand this must be very jarring for you right now. I've given you a medical grade stimulant to help you wake up because I need you to tell me what happened here. Why are there claw marks outside of the doors of the cryopods?
Yeah. He opens his mouth, and as he goes to kind of answer your question, you hear a scream from the other room.
What other room?
From Cryo 2. Essentially, what was happening as you were doing all that, Wilson was in the room with Dr. Cooper, and he continues to keep complaining that his head hurts until he stops speaking coherently, instead starts muttering nonsense. Let's see here. Here's what happens next. Blood seeps out of Cooper's nose and ears. You see bloody eyes roll over white as the scientist convulses and writhes against the wall. As you and your crew rush to hold the man down, you notice that the Cronus crew back away instead. Busy trying to help the convulsing scientist, you don't stop to ask him why. In the depths of a seizure now, Cooper flails about at everything and everyone. With a sickening pop and a bloody splash, his eyeball launches from his face and smacks into Wilson, before bouncing across the floor and rolling under a cryo tube. This time, you pause, trying to process exactly what it is you're seeing. A slender, gore-covered arm pushes its way out of Cooper's empty eye socket, reaches around and tugs at his distended mouth. As spindly white fingers yank his teeth back, Cooper does not scream. It's clear that he isn't in his own head anymore. Something else is, and it wants out. Flesh tears and tendons snap as the thing inside his splintering skull pulls his face open right at the jawline. Finally, a thick gurgling sound wells up inside Cooper as his head is ripped from his body. His neck gushing at whatever it was inside him plops to the floor in a burst of blood. Kill it! Kill it now, you hear Flynn yell. The translucent white thing on the floor sloughs off its placenta, struggling to stand on all four wobbly fawn-like legs. Shaking brain matter from its spiky hide, the bloodburster turns its bulbous, eyeless head towards you and crouches. And we are now in combat. So, how combat works in Alien is that we don't roll to see who goes first. We basically draw from a random deck, and whoever has it basically goes from whoever has like the one.
So
card
we're not all in the examination room?
Well, I thought you came back to Cryo 1. So you brought
I thought we all like, I was like, all right, everybody into the examination room. You're going to get water, and we're going to get this guy's stimulant, and we're going to figure out what the fuck happened because there's suits here. So we're going to get you guys back in coherent shape, and we're going to get you onto the ship.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move everybody into the examination room then.
Yeah, that seems.
At least that's what I thought I had described. I don't know.
That's
if
what
everybody
you. That's
heard
what you
something.
said, Justin. Spencer might not have fully.
Okay. Yep. Nope. I just want to make sure I didn't say the wrong thing.
Nope, you're good. So we'll put Dr. Cooper right there. And this little guy on the floor right there. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and add everybody in. Whoa, what happened? There we go. Oh, add turn, it deletes right under add turn, so that's what happened. So, so I'm adding everybody in right now. Just a second. And Dalton, are you able to bring up that deck again? I forget how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it
What
doesn't.
is this, like a deck of cards that we choose from?
Oh, I guess we can. Sorry, yes. So in Alien, basically, you have like a deck of cards that you randomly distribute, and everybody pulls a card, and that's your initiative order. I guess we can just roll a d10, and whoever gets like the 1 goes first, whoever gets the 2 goes second, so on and so forth. So,
Okay.
and ties can re-roll. So then I'll go ahead and roll for the bloodburster, but everybody else starts rolling a d10.
Spoilers.
Oh. Well, I go first.
Well, I said one actually goes first, so you go last.
Oh, I go last.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. One time I roll high.
I do think it's a rule that we're allowed to trade positions in turn order if we want to.
Yeah, just not in the middle of a round. Can be the start of whatever.
All right, well, you go early, so kill it with fire.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have
Oh.
the flamethrower, but I will kill it
we
with a.
both tied, so we
So
both
you guys
need to
actually
reroll?
need to roll again, so you're held at the 3 spot.
Yeah, Kristen, why don't you put a
Or
3
should I?
in, and then we'll like roll off later once everything else is rolled. Unless Spencer, are you planning on
Okay.
rolling for everybody?
No, probably not.
Okay, so Christian, you and I should do a roll off. I got a 4. Okay.
Okay, well now I tie this.
So I'll hold on to 3. You go to 4.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, Spencer,
Nice.
you said roll a D0.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I was like, how'd you get a 0 on a 1 through 10 roll?
That's what I was. I was like, what did I do? 5.
What do you mean there's multiples of these in turn order? You're crazy.
I'll explain it in a second.
You only
I'll
described
explain it.
one chest burster.
I know.
Blood boy, whatever you called him.
Bloodburster. You got it.
Bloodburster.
No, enemies get to roll.
I'm gonna take the NPCs out of combat, or maybe just have them go. I'll just roll for the NPCs in general.
Well, why, Spencer?
Yes.
So there's three. That's three red circle thingies. There was one red circle thingy.
Yes.
I don't think you counted.
He's
right.
going to explain that.
I will.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
So we have our turn order. Basically, it looks like Cham. Is that's your name, right, Dalton? Yeah.
Yes.
Cham is going first, followed by probably Rye, then followed by Wilson, and then the Bloodburster. So if you notice, guys, there's 3 on there because this is enemies work a little bit differently in Alien. So they
Mhm.
have a speed stat that basically determines not only how fast they are, but how many times they get to act in combat. So in combat, they get to act 1 time for each point of speed that they have. And that means they get a fast and a slow action. So we have a lot of people going before the Bloodburster, but then it gets to do 3 different things before
In a row.
the captain gets to do
Damn.
something.
I hate it.
So, yeah. So that is kind of how they work. So this thing has birthed out of the chest and is kind of on the floor, and we come to the beginning of turn order, which is Cham. Now, I know you guys have already kind of go through this, but you get what are called in combat. We are now going like round by round, and everybody gets to do 1 slow action
Mm-hmm.
and 1 fast action. So all of that is detailed on page 88 of the core rulebook. So if you want to take a look at that and see what kind of like actions in combat you have, but like for the most part, like slow actions are stuff like crawling, shooting a firearm, reloading, a close combat attack, first aid, stopping panic, giving orders, using a signature item. Where fast actions tend to be stuff like running, getting up, moving through a door or hatch, drawing your weapon, block attack, pick up item, retreat, aim, see cover, stuff like that. So does that kind of you guys can kind of take a look at the at all of that kind of stuff, but that's kind of like this a quick rundown of things you can do in combat. So this thing has burst out of Dr. Cooper's chest and is just now starting to like stand up and kind of gets down in attack position. Cham, you see this thing. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll immediately draw my bolt gun and fire on it.
Perfect.
So I think
It's a smaller creature, so I like to think that like all of you kind of like backed up when the thing burst out. So this is short range, but not engaged. I don't think the Bloodburster is currently engaged with anyone at this current time.
Okay.
So that's kind of how Alien kind of like measures those kinds of things, is they say like whether something's engaged, like it's engaged, short is within the same zone, medium is with like 1 zone apart, long is 2 zones apart, and then so on and so forth. So, and there's different modifiers and stuff depending on what kind of weapons you're using and everything. But sorry, anyways, yeah.
And I think my bolt gun is just single shot, so there's nothing to worry about like with full auto or anything like that. I can't
No.
do that, so I think this is just a straight up I do a range combat roll. And I get 2 successes actually.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I will hit, and my bolt gun does 3 damage.
Cool.
And that's armor piercing. I don't know if any of that matters, or it needs, or I think
It is
needs,
armor piercing. Cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think, does it need to make like a? Is it contested at all? Does it need to make a roll?
No. So how the only defense that it really has against that is that this thing does have armor, but it's negated by your weapon, right? So like armor is interesting. How it works is that it whatever its armor rating is, I grab that many dice and roll them, and for each 6 I get on that, I minus 1 from the damage. So yeah. So basically, you shoot this armor piercing thing at this Bloodburster, and you deal 3 base damage. and that's enough to kill it.
Oh,
cool.
yes!
I
You
know
just shoot this bolt at it, and it just goes down. Good job! Yay!
I know that's a little anticlimactic because we just
is
got
awesome.
everything done. But yeah, so it had armor, but you ignored it. So
Hey, I gotta look after my crew.
yeah.
We're family.
Yeah.
Remind me to give you a commendation, champ.
I mean, if we look at it like this too, it had 3 chances to go before all of you, and it got pretty bad on most of its like chances to go. So as you can see, combat can get pretty dangerous pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's quick and fast, and Dalton, Cham just like I don't know, maybe you have combat training or something like that, but it just kicks in and you just nail that thing. And
Yeah, you spent your life on the frontier. You got those quick reflexes.
Fucking skewered.
Yeah.
so
Actually, I'm going to use my success to pin down the enemy. And they need to make an immediate panic roll. The panic roll doesn't matter, but like they're like literally bolted in to the ground.
yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, there's a sample. Great.
Yeah, let's fucking grab that, get everybody on the ship, and let's fucking leave.
I think we're done.
Mission accomplished.
Speaking of, so everybody needs to so go ahead and add 1 more to your stress for seeing an alien creature. This is something that's under the stress and panic rolls, is that there are different things that will make you increase your stress, and this is one of them. And then also, because of this harrowing scene, you must all make an immediate panic roll.
Oof. That's a D10, right?
How a panic roll works is that it is 1d6. You roll 1d6.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you
then
add
roll.
whatever your panic level is to your roll. Then you consult the panic roll table that's on page 105 of the core rulebook. On a results of 1 to 6, nothing happens. But Cham, what's your stress level at right now? It's +2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, it says keeping it together.
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled a 4 and got +2.
I
You're
rolled
fine.
a 4 + 2, yeah.
It calculated. Great. So you keep it together. Barely. So that's great.
Oh, when does it get bad?
After 6.
After 6, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so we want to roll low.
Yes. Christian had only a +1 and rolled a 1, so you're good.
Where's the panic on this sheet? I'm looking for it. Why am I not seeing?
There's a stress level section where like you get up like 1, 2, up to like 10, and then if you click like stress level, like the header there, it'll roll.
Banner. Yep. You got it.
Cool. I'm good. I got this.
Nice. That was close, Dalton.
That was real close on me. I mean, like, look, if I want to have a small little panic attack right after murdering probably the first alien anyone has ever murdered, as far as I'm aware.
I think you deserve it. You earned it.
After seeing it birth from a fucking human head.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
as far as I'm aware, I just committed the first intergalactic hate crime.
Cool as a damn cucumber, just launched like a nail gun at it and popped it into the floor.
I guess. I mean, for all you know, I'm facing like tribunal on the Citadel for like encroaching in some alien species' rights or something.
What the? No, alien species rights.
So I hurriedly kind of come out of the other scientist is still in cryo 3, right?
No, everybody's.
I moved everybody.
Everybody's in the room. It's like that scene at the beginning of Alien, right before the chest burster thing. Yeah. Everybody's in the damn room.
Okay. I pull the scientist hurriedly out and like back out to like cryo 2 or away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Hey,
shaking and white.
No, wrong direction, Wilson. Suits are that way.
I ignore the.
Oh, cool! I'm pulling rank.
Oh, gasp!
Okay.
What does that do?
In the immortal words of Jason Bateman, the fuck you are.
Tell us more about your talent full rank, Justin.
Yes. Wait, hold on. I will. Please, one moment. Officer Miller has a talent called Pull Rank, which says that you can use your command skill to order other non-officer PCs and NPCs around as long as they belong to the same organization as you. To force someone to follow you or your orders and perform a specific action, roll command against the target's manipulation. If successful, the target must follow your orders even if it means harm or danger to them. Your stress level increases by 1 each time you do this. Note also that each roll only covers one specific action. So take the scientists to the suit room so we can get them on the ship. And I will now roll my command. And no extra die, right?
I don't think so.
Oof, no successes. Fuck.
So I like to think that, like, so basically how this scene goes down is Wilson grabs Dr. Flynn and kind of pulls him into cryo bay, starts to like say something to him, and you just hear Captain Miller go, "Hey, no, not the right direction. We're going this way." Tries to pull rank. Wilson, you just go whatever, and just go ahead and ask Dr. Flynn what you're gonna ask.
I do think Christian
What?
does have to roll manipulation.
Oh, sorry.
Like
yeah.
it is a
I
contested
have to
roll.
beat his roll, right?
Yeah.
Because it's contested, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
So it is just a manipulation roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and am I adding or subtracting anything here? Just to make sure.
I
from
think you would
your-
add your
from your
stress, but
ability.
like I don't think you need to like put that
Oh,
in.
I don't.
think
I don't
that-
have to put that. Yeah. All right. I'm
Shit.
okay. I'm successful.
I was
Uh-oh.
gonna say we haven't talked about this that much, but there is something called pushing your roll, but I don't think pushing your roll affects you. I don't think you can push rolls when it's an opposed roll. So let me double check on that.
That's true. That is important to clarify.
It doesn't say anything under opposed rolls that you can't push it against somebody. So I think it is okay to push a roll. So how this works is that if you decide to push a roll, you immediately increase your stress level. Then you go ahead and make a roll. And, well, then you push it. So you can just hit the push button on there. But essentially, that's how that works. So basically, Justin, if you look, the opposed roll, Christian got 3 successes.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of dice, but you'd be also
No, I
increasing
have
your
a
stress level to
strategy of
3.
how I'm going to handle this situation.
Okay, all right. So you're not going to push it then?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Christian, you pull. Yeah, you hear Officer Miller bark an order at you that you swiftly ignore to say what you want to say to Dr. Flynn. What do you say?
Yeah, so I like pull him in like cryo 3 or whatever where people can hear our conversation. And then
He's like muttering under his breath in shock as you do so.
I have a conversation with him, which I'm having with you.
Got it. So you're going to type that up. Well, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
go ahead and do that, Christian. This is the perfect time. Act 1 has ended, and Act 2 has now begun. The end of Act 1 was with the Bloodburster. So now I just wanted to give you a moment to kind of like collect yourselves and do that. And now that Act 1 is done and Act 2 is beginning, I get to award story points. So I'm going to go ahead and examine each of your agendas to see if you accomplished or followed along your agendas, and then reward. Then start sharing your new agendas with you. As I'm doing that, can somebody please look up story points so they can read that as I'm dishing out the second act agendas.
On it.
I'm looking at Miller's agenda right now. Yep, you get a story point, Justin. Captain Miller followed their agenda. Now look at
Yes, you did.
Cham's agenda. Let's see here. Yep, you followed your agenda. Go ahead and you get a story point as well. And
Cool.
then let me go ahead and do Wilson's. Let me look at Wilson's.
I do have a question once you're done with that, Spencer.
Yep. Yep. Everybody followed their agenda, so everybody gets a story point from this. Is your question an out loud question, Dalton, or is it a whisper to me question?
No, it's an out loud question.
Okay, go ahead.
Just with like since we're playing cinematic,
Yeah.
and like there's some things we can do kind of like per act.
Yeah.
Could I retroactively like say a prayer on my rosary after killing the alien?
That seems in character. Yeah, you could do that.
and, like,
that seems in character.
And that would be like a relieving stress. Like,
Yeah.
like once for Christian, Justin, for your info, like once per act, you can interact with your signature item in some way to reduce your stress level 1 step. This typically requires a slow action. So like I'm asking Spencer, like, can I use that, like, since we're done with act 1, can I kind of like use that unused thing in character to reduce my stress? And it sounds like I can do that.
Yeah, I think the acts are just supposed to happen naturally, but since this is your guys' first time playing, I'm gonna say you can go ahead and do that. So yes.
Yeah, like I immediately like I shoot the alien and then I do the thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sharing everybody's agendas now. Please let me know.
Our act 2 agendas.
Yeah, making sure you guys get that. So if anybody looked up the story points, can you tell us more about that?
You get story points and you can use them on upgrades. Sorry, I was looking for a better description of it.
It's all right. It's basically a free success on a roll, as far as I remember.
Agendas and story points. At the end of each act, you should determine whether or not each player followed their PC's personal agenda. If you determine they have advanced their agenda in spite of personal or significant sacrifice, announce personal risk or significant sacrifice, announce that they award 1 story point. Do not say why they get this reward. Their agenda should remain hidden until the end of the scenario. So...
yeah, so I found it on page 61, yes. So, like you're saying, Justin, so in a cinematic scenario, you can spend a story point to get 1 automatic success in a dice roll. You can spend the story point after a failed roll, or even after a successful roll, in order to get a extra success. You gain story points by following your personal agendas, and you can never have more than 3 story points, however. It's important to note is that if after Act 3 you're like, well, what am I going to use story points after Act 3? The thing is, story points are player specific, so they will carry on to the next cinematic adventure you do. So that's the cool thing about it.
Cool.
So I'm responding to Christian, so just a moment.
story points do not get a lot of visibility despite being kind of a major mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
In the index, they're only mentioned like twice in 31 and page 31, page 61. But while that's all happening, the captain looks at Cham and goes, well, would I know this? Would I know that they need suits to get out through the umbilical and back onto the ship? Yes, right?
I think you would know that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing they do. So, Cham, let's get these people.
As you do so, as you're kind of collecting yourself, Dr. Flynn runs back in and starts like going through the pockets of Dr. Cooper. He goes, "It's right here. I don't know why." Why didn't he? He looks back at the Cronus crew, who stare at him with disbelief. In his hand, he holds a full syringe of what appears to be a black liquid.
What is that, Doctor?
It's what protects us. None of you have your helmets on. What?
No, Wilson does.
Wilson does, yes. Oh, we need to get you inoculated quickly. We have to do this right now. There's one here, and he runs over to like probably like whoever is closest to him right now, which is probably Cham, and like holds out the syringe and says, "You need to take this right now."
Oh, okay.
Cham, don't. Yeah, take that from him, Cham.
Yeah, I'll accept it, but I won't immediately inject myself with it.
No, you have to take it. You have to be inoculated.
Against?
Force. The kids. There's. How much have you exported the ship?
We literally just got in here. We asked Mother for a sit rep, and we came to get you out of cryo. We know literally nothing. We were assigned to recover any sort of like information or scientific samples from the ship, recover the crew, and get the fuck out.
Yeah. At this point, Captain John speaks up and goes, we found something on the planet we were exploring. It was an archaeological dig. This is the first time she's spoken. But let's see here. She kind of interjects and says, "Yes, it was just a dig. That's it." And John kind of like reacts a little bit to it. He kind of like shuffles back and goes, "Look, we brought some of the stuff onto our ship, and now there's this fungus that's growing. It's been infecting the ship and our crew. Dr. Cooper actually made this inoculation, the syringe. It protects us. I don't know why he didn't do it. He made it." And he kind of like looks back at the now deceased Dr. Cooper on the ground.
We only have one more dose of this?
Dr. Flynn goes, "No, there's more in the med lab. At least 6 vials.
Are we in the
We
med
should
lab?
get all of you covered right now."
No.
Is the med lab a different? Okay, I see where it is.
Yeah. I think it's in the deck right below you.
Yeah. It's in.
I
it's in
pull out
deck
my
two.
service pistol and I point it right at Wilson. What aren't you telling us?
You know everything I do.
I cock it and I point it. You want to play this game? You've already treated my orders with insubordination once. You are a mutinous crew member, and we are in a hostile situation. You tell me what you know. Now.
At this point, Clayton, the woman in blonde, actually steps kind of in front of you cocking your pistol at Wilson. and just goes, "Hey, let's calm down.
You know I got more than one bullet in here, right?
That's fine. We'll need them for anybody else that might not be all right on this ship, or for things like that." And points at the bloodburster dead on the floor.
Yeah, apparently I got one of those growing in my head right now, too.
We don't know that for sure, but that's why I think Dr. Flynn here wants us all to be inoculated, so we're safe. Okay? No need to shoot more people than necessary, okay? We're all
Oh, I don't intend to.
Okay, great. So let's just follow Dr. Flynn's advice, and maybe we should all get inoculated down in the med bay.
All right. And I know that the med bay is like one level below, and we're right by Junction 2. We should be able to get there quick.
Correct, yes.
All right.
We should be
Get
careful.
suits on right now. Because you're going to need them so you can get out through the umbilical. Our ship's on top of the Junction A3.
A1.
We have a sample of this creature, and it sounds like we'll have a sample of the inoculation. That's enough medical samples. You guys are safe. Let's get this and get the hell out of here.
That sounds like a great plan. And she kind
She
of
leans over. She leans over and she looks at Wilson and goes, "I'm not done with you."
Yeah. I'm like off to the side. I'm taking like a freezer Ziploc gallon bag and trying to like, I don't know, shovel alien into it.
Yeah, love it. Okay.
All right, great. So yeah, at this point in time, as everybody starts to like shuffle to like these like storage and such, a few people are starting to cough. There's definitely some stale air and heavy carbon dioxide, and so you hear like as they're all kind of shuffling to where these bays are, you hear John's actually say, "I think we should." I think the filters probably need to be replaced in the air scrubbers.
I don't think we plan on staying
Johns,
here very
don't worry
long.
about it. We're not going to be here long enough for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well said, Cham.
So we'll move. We'll just say everybody's kind of moving to these kind of like chambers back here.
Because like I know, real quick, one of our objectives was to escort this ship back to wherever. And like this is my ignorance of the universe, but it sounds like the AI like mother system is able to like pilot a ship and like get it moving without direct
Yes,
human
it
intervention.
can
So like we can
autopilot, yes.
we can ask mother to like, hey, set this destination and go there, and it will do so. It doesn't need like an active human on board doing that, right?
Well, oh, is that correct? Okay, I was gonna say synthetics can remotely like autopilot or whatever control that, but I didn't know, I guess, if mother, but that would make sense. Yeah.
Also, is like the mother on this ship? Because like I only know like there was mother on the original ship, right? But that one exploded. I'm assuming that like it's unique to like each individual ship. They're not like networked together. There's not like one
Correct.
central mother somewhere.
Yeah, no, each one kind of has their own. It's like their server, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like this is the mother interface here isn't some interface to some like greater mother server on some other planet. It's just like it's all local to this ship
Correct. Yeah.
That
Okay.
we
that we know of.
So
Yeah,
That means we can stop at the mother hub and autopilot it to where it needs to go.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we can just follow it.
as the Cronus crew comes back, they bring with them only 3 remaining Mark 50 compression suits. They seem to be working and functioning fine, but Johns kind of says we don't have enough for one person's going to be left out.
I think we have an extra one on our ship. we could go grab and bring it down, or like, I mean, how in universe, how long does it take to change out of one? Like, could we just like send 4 of them up? They take it off and then
Throw it down.
throw it down, bring it back up.
No, they're gonna keep them on while they're on the ship.
Okay.
And we're gonna put them in the brig.
So we should go grab the extra one we have then.
Yeah. Rye, go get the extra suit. Please be as quick as possible.
Should she go alone?
She turns around on her heel and she kind of goes, "Am I going alone, Captain?"
Oh, God damn it.
We could all just walk together right to the docking bay.
Look, here's what we're gonna do. Yeah. All right, and then we can go down through the living area to get to the med lab. That's fine. It's not much further. All right, let's do that.
Okay, cool. So all of you, let's see how many turns it's going to take. That's going to be...
Wait a second. There are more in... No, there's more in vestibule... 2, and we can route... We can go directly from vestibule 2 up through junction B1 into A1 and get out of here.
I might need you to back up 1 or 2 steps on your plan so I fully understand what you're saying.
We're going to go down through junction A2, which will take us to junction B2.
Okay.
We're going to go through the science sector.
Do you mean
into
junction
the med
A?
lab.
Do you mean junction A1?
No, because junction A2.
Oh, okay, yeah,
We're
junction
right next
A2
to
is
it.
right there.
Yeah,
goes
and
to
I point to
junction-
the sign.
That goes
on
to
the wall.
junction B2. Yep.
And then we're going to go to junction B2.
Mm-hmm.
From junction B2, we're going to go through the science sector into the med lab,
Yep.
get the vials, give ourselves the
The vaccine.
immunizations,
Yeah, whatever.
and then we are going to go up to vestibule 2, where there are extra suits, and then we are going to go up through junction B1, up through junction A1, and through the umbilical and back onto the ship and get the hell out of here.
Okay. Sounds
And
good to
put
me.
my helmet back on. Closing the barn door after the horse has gotten out. All right, let's go.
Sounds
You
good to me.
first, Wilson.
So all of you are heading to junction A1. Is that what I heard
A2.
correctly?
Junction A2.
Oh,
Here.
so down here. Okay. And
Yeah,
you're
so we're gonna
going
go down this. We're gonna go down this stairwell here, through the science sector, to the med lab, up to
If-
vestibule 2, where there's more suits, up through B1, up through A1, and then off the ship.
Okay. So
we
are
have-
I
you...
feel like it's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, you guys are all traveling together, right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
I will give the captain the one immunization if he wants it.
Nah. Don't worry about it. We'll
Okay.
get it later, or we'll get it now, or we're not getting off the ship.
All right.
I
I'll give
Dr.
it.
Flynn
I'll
kind
give
of-
it to Rye then. I'll give it to my friend Rye.
Is this safe?
Could
It's
be
safer, it's not.
I
tell the. Sorry.
I don't know. You what do you think, Davis? Or not Davis? Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson.
Sorry. What was
What
the?
do you think?
What was in question?
About the immunization vial, the black goo that lets us be immune to the chest burster.
Cam just handed it. Dalton's character just handed
Gotcha,
it to
yeah.
Rye and said, "Why don't you take this?" And she asked, Is it safe?
Isn't she a drug addict? What does she care?
I don't know.
No, that's the pilot.
Oh,
Oh,
It is the pilot.
oh, the pilot's the drug addict. Okay.
Yeah. So the pilot's like up in the cockpit, just like doing cocaine.
Oh,
I mean,
she's
thank
popping
God.
pills. She's
Thank-
doing poppers.
Thank God he's not down here.
that like listening to music. Like
Yeah, she's just jamming out to Jimmy Buffett, blowing
like,
lines.
just like having a great
In
time.
Margaritaville.
Like we just cut to her just having like a great time, and then we're just like witnessing this horror. It's the pure juxtaposition of it all. But Wilson
Putting this Bijan Frise alien remains in a fucking Coleman.
yes, well, Wilson kind of as he's kind of answering, Wilson has like the scientist like, here, like package this, and, like seal it, make sure it's good, and like answers like sorry, go
We
ahead.
have other specimens in the med lab. We don't have to take this one.
You got more of these weirdos?
No, they have other specimens. It might just be tissue samples.
No, it's like this.
Is it alive?
No, it's dead.
Well, we should more wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Hey. I look at the Marine. Do you have any gear around here?
Oh, I mean, we could check the armory, but I'm not sure if anything's left.
I walk up to one of the comms terminals.
Sorry, I think so. It's interesting. These maps are kind of like labeled a little differently. There is an armory. Let me double check where that's at. It should be on deck B.
I'm not seeing anything labeled armory on deck.
It's in the
B.
vestibule.
Oh, it's vestibule. It's vestibule 1. Sorry,
One?
it's interesting. This map doesn't have it, but on my map.
Oh
it
yeah,
shows
vestibule 1. You can tell from the
It does
key.
have like crosshair symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but mine has parentheses. It's interesting. I wonder if I can show you. But like basically, no, not with this thing on. But underneath vestibule 1, it has parentheses armory. So it's interesting where I found these maps. But anyways, so anywho.
Yeah,
Okay.
be an older version of it.
Yeah,
But
possibly.
it has a legend here for the icons.
Yeah, so vestibule 1 has the armory. Either way, we need to be up that way.
Mhm.
All right. Hey. Wilson, you give the Marine your flamethrower.
Fair enough.
Great.
You hand
And I
it
hand
over.
Wilson the movement monitor. You're in charge of making sure nothing sneaks up on us.
Roger that, Captain.
Right. All right.
Got it. Like
Let's make our
shakes
way
his
down
head.
through the junction. Everybody's prepped. Everybody has anything that we have. Let's go.
All right. I'll start moving everybody down. Well, at least the NPCs wise, down to Junction B2.
I think it's one movement to get to junction A2. And then probably
And then one to get down to B2.
Yeah, and then another movement to get to B2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a couple of turns because we've had to go back and forth and search rooms and stuff like that. So I think it's been at least like 2 turns. I don't know.
Yeah.
1 turn at least.
Okay.
Shh. Means
All right.
Oh yeah. During the hey Spencer, can we do something like retro or I guess
What are
whatever?
you wanting to do?
I want to decrease my stress level by rubbing my patch
Yeah, go ahead.
on my jacket. So how does that work? Does it get rid of all my stress or
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
I rolled
Sounds
for
good.
air as well, for myself at least, because I've had mine on the entire time, so
Okay.
I definitely feel like
Yeah.
I need
Great.
to roll.
Interesting about that.
Yeah. And you decreased one.
Or-
Yep.
Sorry, not the entire time, but I put it back on before we went in and talked to these guys.
Yeah. So that was another one, and it looks like you're down to 3 on the air supply, right? So
Yep.
okay. All right.
So
Let's
it was
see
it was
here.
the scientist's recommendation that we like stay sealed.
Yes, he actually recommends you keep your helmets on,
Okay.
or at least take whoever doesn't take the inoculation.
Okay.
Oh, and Rice had their helmet on the whole time. Rye doesn't need it.
No, she took it off when everybody else took off their helmets.
Oh, did she?
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take the vaccine, Rye.
You sure, Captain? All right.
Yeah, go for it. You've done good so far, kid.
She like goes over to the doctor and he says like, "Hey, I'm afraid, Niels. Can you do this for me?" He's like, "Sure." And she looks away as the black liquid gets injected into her. And yeah, you guys continue on. So now you're down on deck B. So as you kind of get down here, Dr. Flynn goes, "Okay, if we make it into the med lab, underneath the desk there is a case. We should have several vials, enough for all of us down there, that we can make sure nobody else gets infected."
All right. So we are down in. All right. So it's going to take. We can move. Hey, how's the motion monitor?
Oh, you flip it out again? Oh, yeah. So you flip it out and you start to kind of like check for any kind of movement and everything.
On air.
Do that.
And currently it seems to be reading that there is no movement other than you guys in the current around. So just make sure you make your power roll and then we're good. Which it looks like
How much power is left?
I think it
4?
had full power until right now.
Yeah.
It was at 4 because I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, it's down to 3 now.
All right. So yeah. Where are you guys moving to next?
We're going to move into the science sector and then into the hallway in front of the med lab.
Perfect. You guys do so. And
What are med pods?
do you want to ask Dr. Well, your character might have a rough knowledge of it, but I like to think.
I mean, I feel like a doctor. I mean, a captain would know what the parts of the ship are. I wouldn't know how they work, but
yeah. A med pod is basically kind of like, if you've seen Prometheus, it's the thing that operated on the
Elizabeth Shaw.
So it's kind of like a automatic surgery kind of machine. It can
oh yeah, they're like back to tanks in Star Wars.
Kind of. There's no liquid. It just kind of like is able. It's like programmed to do surgeries and fix you up and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, like the beds on Star Trek or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. All right. Yeah. So go ahead and move your characters to there. I'll kind of assemble all of the NPCs in like the hallway.
Yeah, I mean it's because it's a 2x2 meters, and we're human beings. We only take up like a 1 square meter space.
Yeah.
I mean it's cramped in there.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, there's enough room for all of us, I think, because 2x2 meters, so it's like 1, 2 wide, so it's 4 meters wide, which is, I mean, it's 12 feet. It's fairly big.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like it's what 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 meters long. So it's what 16, like 20 feet or so. No,
yeah.
18 feet. Right, 2 point. No, I'm thinking of kilos. So it's 6. Yeah, it's 12 feet wide, and then what do we say? 4 times 3. Yeah, so. Meter is 3 feet ish. So 3, 6. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's cramped in there, but there's enough space.
Cool. You guys all kind of cram in and start to head into the med lab. Let me go ahead and read some stuff for you. All right. So this is like a longer room and it's all open. So there's, even though there's this like little thing, you can kind of like see into this like next room here and everything like that. So let me go ahead and describe kind of what's in here. So let's see here. Sorry, it starts with description of the other room, so I'm trying to see where the first room that you enter in, like what the description is. Let's see here. So in this room, you see what originally appeared to be like a clean like medicine lab, but it's now like just like covered. There's like blood on the floor. Things are scratched up and like moved about. The things of note that you see in this main room right here is that at first glance you see across the way you see what appears to be 2 of the same alien creatures that like burst out of Dr. Cooper's chest, floating in like large specimen jars, just kind of like floating there, seemingly dead. And so you come inside, and on top of that, you see what appears to be a lot. Like this room's like crowded. There's a ton of stuff in here. You see what appears to be a jar. Yes, like another smaller specimen jar, which appears to have these fungal looking like nodes. And then on a desk next to that is what appears to be an open metallic urn. Inside are 4 organic looking glass vials, 3 of them intact with some kind of black liquid within them, while the 4th is cracked and empty. Over here, it seems to be 2 older generation mauling med pods. One has its plexiglass tube splintered and shattered as if something broke out of it. The other is sealed and lit from within, but the entire inner surface of the plexiglass is covered in thick, dried blood. And then, yeah, that's kind of what you see in here so far.
I look at Wilson. After you. No. I insist.
Wilson goes over to the like vase shaped object and questions the scientist about its nature, and did they test these, have any subjects that they tested this vaccine, this pathogen, as they were developing it? Like, how do they know it's successful?
Well, all of us have taken it. I wouldn't have taken it if I knew it didn't work. Look,
how did you test it? Where did you get this?
We got it from the planet. We got it from LV-1113.
Was it researched and developed on the planet?
A little bit of here, a little bit of there. We were just trying to get out quickly.
Here,
You're a
there. Where's here?
scientist.
Where's there?
And you're saying you should be acting in absolutes. You're as a scientist based on fact. You're saying you don't know, a little bit here, a little bit there.
No, I'm saying
That's
I don't
extremely
want
worrying.
to talk about it. There's a strong difference. I'm sorry that you think. Never mind. Let's just get you inoculated. And he like rushes into
No.
the other room.
Wait a second. I'm sorry to put you out of your comfort zone, Doctor, but you're gonna talk about it.
He's shuffled into the other room. He's left.
I run after him,
Okay, yeah.
and I don't know if it's a strength roll I need to do, but I'm gonna grab him by his stupid fucking doctor coat.
No, you can grab him. You grab him and you kind of like pull him over. He's like, as you do so, he goes, "Please, I just want to find the strain. We need to get all of you covered."
Then talk.
I
Wait. She's actually pretty tall. She's pretty tall lady.
Yeah.
She's like 5'11",
yeah.
and she goes to the gym. My strength is 4. I mean, I feel like that's pretty high given the relative natures of these scores.
I think so. 4 is pretty high.
4 is like really high, I feel like. Yeah, so I grab him by his stupid coat. Talk. And I'll put you down.
I think this is not the main concern right now. I think we need to find the strain, and
I think you better be concerned.
look, I don't know what else you want. I don't want to talk about it. So let's just get the things and get out of here. Don't know what else is here.
Cham, what do you think? You think he needs motivation? I feel like he could be motivated.
What
I think we need to
happens
get
if
out
it's
of
too late to take the inoculation? Doctor. When is too late?
When you're exposed.
So it's already too late?
No,
Maybe.
I mean,
Exposed
see?
to what, friend?
In the other room, did you see the motes, the fungus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That, exposed to that. Have you seen any of it on the ship yet?
No?
No.
Good. Don't disturb them. They'll release something that can get you infected and create what happened to Dr. Cooper.
Good news, Cham. We might not be infected after all.
Okay. So it sounds like is there any sort of like period of time where like if we accidentally get some of the fungus near us that we can take it, or do we need to be like ahead of time?
Ahead of time.
100% ahead of time.
Yes.
Do you have
That's
any
why-
like notes or anything in your computers?
How long does the infection take to set in?
I mean, hours, a day, maybe.
Where is your research?
Well, I'm sure Mother has some records we could access.
Great.
Wilson, did you talk to her and she had some classified information? Did she mention any of this when you?
Yeah, I'd say if it's a need to know basis, we need to know.
At this point in time, Justin, I like to think that you might have some sort of like radio or contact with the Montero.
Yeah. There's probably
yeah.
some comms, some in that.
Yeah.
Like it would. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
think
feel
so.
like I wouldn't design a spacesuit without some sort of comm system.
Yeah. Miller comes over the
That's just
comm.
Justin Franklin thinking about like how he would design a spacesuit, but
Yeah. You hear Davis come over the comm and go, "Hey, Captain Miller, we kind of have a situation up here." And in the background, you hear a warning siren coming from Mother.
I drop. I kind of like throw him against the wall a little bit. Go ahead.
So I don't know what's gotten into Mother, but she says that there's a displacement drive malfunction, and then you hear over like the like in the background, cascade failure imminent, fusion reactor overload in T minus 10 minutes.
Wait. Is that the fusion? Is that for the Montero, or is that for?
Yeah, that's for us.
Right.
Huh? What?
What the hell? Why is it doing that?
How the hell should I know? I mean, I can run up there and go check on the engines.
10 minutes.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk her down, but I don't know what's going on.
Do you think you can handle it on your own?
No.
No. Great. Fuck. All right. Shit. I don't know if we can get up in 10 minutes. Can you? Fuck. If you get. Do you think you could run and get to the ship in 10 minutes and stop our ship from exploding, Rye?
I can try, Captain. But with that, I think that's an excellent point to call it quits or call it stopped for
Damn, what a cliffhanger.
Right, yeah. As you guys are deep in the bowels of the
We're not even
Cronus,
halfway in.
I know. Well, I mean, you're getting there. And you just get a radio message that apparently your displacement drive is malfunctioning and you have a cascade failure imminent on the Montero. So how we kind of react to that and do that is we'll just have to pick that up next time at the beginning of our next session. So yeah. Before we kind of sign off and everything, how's everybody feeling so far? How's Alien feel? Do you have any questions about it or anything like that?
I think the gameplay suits the universe really well. I think they actually did a really good job. Not actually, but like I think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
I mean, like death seems
quick.
all too prevalent.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job, especially honoring the original, like, Alien and Aliens. I think they did a really good job kind of creating this, the environment, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in it so far. I think this adventure seems to be well written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels very immersive so far, but I'll have to reserve my judgment of gameplay mechanics, I think, until we see.
I kind of like the gameplay mechanic so far. Trying to the few but impactful rule really kind of lets the story progress rather than, especially, I mean, combat does work a little bit different, but not getting bogged down with a roll for every little thing that you want to do is kind of, not having to make a separate roll for each door is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Certainly adds tension as far as just like, oh shit, my consumables, my power for the motion tracker, and the air is going down.
Yeah.
Should I be using these right now? I feel like I should be, but it's gonna go down quicker. So
That's the thing. I think consumables is like one of the biggest like fear things or like deathly things that can happen in here, because you can get screwed over pretty quickly with consumables. Which is not like it's a major thing compared to like just like, I don't know, just going and doing stuff. Like panic can definitely set in, but you have to wait till that kind of gets high. But anyways.
yeah.
But I mean, as a horror game, I think that's great. You know what I mean? Like there is constant tension. There is constant pressure. There is like, I am going to die, not just from like being murdered by aliens, but from like stupid mundane things. Like, do I have enough air? Am I hydrated? You know, just constant pressure from every direction, which I think is super great.
Yeah. So perfect. Well, great. Okay. Well, there's these apparently fungal notes around that can infect you. You have a possible cure or a inoculation at least to protect you from it. However, the head scientist didn't take it himself, so that's
concerning.
Yeah, that's very suspicious.
But then again, his head exploded, so
that's also true, right? Like he didn't take it, but also he's the
he
one.
He didn't take it, but then his head had like he was the one. He didn't take it, but also he was like, nobody else's head is exploding with like fucking Jim Henson creatures.
So and then of course, just to add things on, your ship is going to explode in 10 minutes. So we'll kind of pick up trying to see how we can resolve that at the beginning of next session. So yeah,
right. And now our ship's about to explode. The ship that we came on is about to explode.
Yeah, we got a perfectly good ship right here.
Yep.
No, I think we've established that we do not have a perfectly good ship right here.
Well, cool. Well, to everybody who's watching this on our YouTube channel or wherever you watch us, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope that this has been kind of a cool little introduction on how to play the game. We always try to make sure that we explain kind of the rules as we're playing them. And this is, like Justin said, it's like few and far between for the roles, so hopefully we explain them well in between that and kind of let the story shine through, because I definitely see this, and this will be more so when we kind of like have our closing thoughts, but I see this more as definitely you play this for the one shots, these like little cinematic adventures more so than anything else, and I'm enjoying it too. So yeah. Anywho, to everybody else, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. So keep on learning.
Bye-bye.